What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Broadway Joel, the voice of Dominican boxing. Today we're gonna do it a little different. This is Broadway After Dark, man. I'm gonna be joined later on by Rohan Polanco's trainer, regular of the show, Hector Bermudez. Today's gonna be an English show. Yeah, I know most of my shows in Spanish, but you gotta feed the streets sometimes. You gotta feed the streets. Sometimes in English, sometimes in Spanish, and my English fans been a little neglected, so I decided to, do a little live. Hopefully, the fans enjoy it. Uh, but yeah, man, I wanted to start off by talking about Pitbull Cruz, man. His management team and Sean Gibbons and promoter and Manny Pacquiao, yo, they deserve some kind of award for best promoter manager ever. Pitbull Cruz just keeps getting opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Doesn't matter whether he win, loses, or draw, whether he's in a boring fight like it was with Cabrera, or he just keeps getting opportunities. He's gonna be fighting Angel Fierro on July 19th. That is the same day as the Pacquiao Barrios fight. And this dude is fighting for a WBC interim belt. Can you believe that on a Pacquiao undercard? This is after losing to Rayo. He beats Angel Fierro, and then they have a rematch, right? They have a rematch, and now this time the rematch is for the WBC interim belt. No, I'm not sure what weight class is this fight at. I think it's at 140, but I could be wrong. It is, yes, it's at 140, right? So he's fighting the 19th. The point of an interim belt is when a fighter gets injured or is going through some legal issues, and they can't make defenses. They put that champion on hold and give another interim champion, and then that interim champion is the reigning champion up until this guy's ready to come back, and now he's his mandatory, and that's how an interim is held. Yo, the title for the WBC 140 belt is held by Alberto Puello. He is defending it on the 12th, and Pitbull is fighting for the for the interim a week later against a guy he already beat on a major pay-per-view. It's starting to get ridiculous. It's starting to get insane. And I just wanted to talk about that. I wanted to get that off my chest. I also wanted to hear what y'all feel. Comment in the comment section how y'all feel about that situation. Because, it's ridiculous. Let's go over it. Matter of fact, I wasn't even planning on doing it. Let's go over his box rec. Let's do that. Let's do all the opportunities, all the paydays this guy's gotten. And it's not like this guy's a major star. Hold on one second. So he fights Francisco Vargas, a guy who's totally shot at that point, and then gets a title shot against Gervonta Davis. I remember that fight. By the way, he fought super dirty in that Francisco Vargas fight. This was in 2021, former world champion. Then he gets a Tank fight. I'm not mad that he got it because it was kind of a last-minute replacement situation. So, opportunities like that just present themselves if you're ready. And he was ready. He performed. He looked good. And I was curious, and I wanted to see him again. After that, what happens? He fights Gamboa. On I believe it was a Canelo undercard. Man, Gamboa is shot to pieces at that point. I remember tweeting about it. And y'all could look up my tweets. Complaining about the choice of opponents, how I knew he was gonna knock him out on some bullshit. And then, all right, so he got a major opportunity. All right, but whatever, he's coming off a Tank fight. He's looking good. They wanted to keep building his name. I'm not so happy about it, but whatever. So now they give him a shot against Eduardo Ramirez. Is this guy even a lightweight? He's registered as a super featherweight now. This fight was in 2022. This was 3 years ago. And this guy is and this fight is at 135, and he's registered as a 130 pounder now. I think he was a 126 pounder at this point. And he's fighting for the WBC silver belt, which gets you ranked good. After that, he fights Giovanni Cabrera in a horrific, boring fight where he gets deducted a point for headbutting, wins a split decision, and then gets a title shot opportunity against Rolando Romero, another guy who keeps getting opportunities, and becomes champion at 140 by fighting the worst champion probably in 140 history. Right? Loses it. His next fight to Jose Valenzuela. All right, no shame in that. Jose Valenzuela Rayo, he came, he boxed good. He looked good. He lost that fight. Then he goes on a comeback fight. He fights Angel Fierro. All right. I'm not even mad at that fight. I'm not even mad that he got that fight. But then your next fight is a rematch with the same guy you just beat, right? You just beat this guy, and it's for an interim belt that is going to be defended the week before. What is the reason for the interim here? Yo, it's ridiculous. These sanctioning bodies really don't give a fuck about the sport. Don't give a fuck about how a fighter may feel that the sanctioning body is giving another belt to another fighter that looks exactly the same, that's made in the same place, that's given by the same person, and it says, oh, well, he could walk around and say he's a WBC champion. I could do the same thing. Because damn well when Pitbull Cruz is going to be in front of reporters that are maybe casual fans, he has that belt on his shoulder. He's not going to say, no, I'm the interim champion. He's going to say, I'm the champion. And he's going to get fame off of something he really didn't earn. Like, why is this guy keep getting these opportunities? And it's not even like this guy's a huge draw. This guy's not selling pay-per-views. This guy's not selling out arenas and stadiums. This guy's not a household name. How many followers does this guy have on Instagram? Let's see. I ain't even checked. I should have checked before going live. But this is Broadway After Dark, man. This is Broadway After Dark. We do things a little different. Let's see. Pitbull Cruz on Instagram. Let's see, because this dude is not a star. Damn, he got 1.5 million followers, and I'm over here talking shit. I should have checked before I started talking. But either way, that doesn't mean you could get a title shot, interim shot, off of just how many followers you got. And again, even though he got a lot of followers, he hasn't produced that monetarily. I don't remember him selling out any arenas. I don't remember him selling any major pay-per-views. He was only on pay-per-view against Gervonta because he was a last-minute opponent. And Gervonta Davis was the star there. He was all the pay-per-views that was sold was him. And also, I heard reports from people that were there. There was lots of parts of the stadium that were, blacked out, that, it wasn't a complete sellout. There was, thousands, if not hundreds, if not thousands of seats, with tarp on them. So this wasn't like a major super duper success. Don't get me wrong. Monetarily, I'm pretty sure it did well. What I'm trying to say is Pitbull Cruz not driving a audience that requires him getting an advantage at every single point he can get. It's ridiculous. It really is. And I just wanted to put that out there and let people know what's going on. Let people know that some BS be happening in boxing, and then you interview these guys and they give you a whole sing and dance pony show. And I'm honestly very disappointed in the WBC, but this isn't the first time I'm disappointed in them, and this won't be the last. Also tomorrow, by the way, for the people who are into this kind of stuff, Jake Paul is going to be fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I'm picking Jake Paul. I know people, oh my God, I can't believe it. You picking this YouTuber. He sucks. He's this. One, he's not as bad as y'all making him out. Listen, say whatever you want. He's been delivering with the competition that he's facing. He hasn't faced, he's a cruiserweight. He's not facing, Usyk, when he was a cruiserweight. He's not facing David Haye when he was around. He's facing guys that are, former MMA fighters. This guy, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., man, this guy is shot to pieces. Didn't Anderson Silva beat this guy? I've seen Chavez balloon up in weight, go down, balloon up in weight, go down. And it's like, what are we doing? So I know damn well he's not taking the sport as serious as Jake Paul. So I've seen Jake Paul fight guys who maybe don't look like they were taking it that serious and win. And I don't think this is going to be anything different. He also beat and dropped Silva, a guy who beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Yes, I know triangle theories, but don't work in boxing. But, to some degree, that is something you got to look at. Some guy that gave you problems, I beat, and not all triangle theories work, but you can see a level of somebody. And Chavez lost that fight because he he wasn't as dedicated, was out of shape, and I'm not anticipating much different, to be honest with you. I'm not anticipating much different. Scofield versus Farmer. Prediction? I got Scofield, although I'm not discounting Farmer. Farmer's very awkward. He was very confident at the press conference. Even I felt like low-key punk Scofield, pushing him, getting in his face, laughing and dancing all in his face. And it kind of looked like Scofield didn't know what to do with that. It kind of looked like he didn't know how to handle that. Somebody coming in so confident, somebody who's clearly the B-side, but is unfazed by it. So I'm definitely not discounting Farmer's chances. He's awkward. He's a southpaw. He has world championship experience. He fought William Zepeda twice, so he's been in there with a world level opposition as of recently. Yeah, no, I definitely am interested in this fight. If Farmer was younger, I would pick Farmer, but that's not the case. He's not younger, so I gotta pick Scofield. Hopefully, whatever Joan Guzman was teaching him back when he was in his camp, he kind of held on to it and could display his talents and what he learned. But yeah, man, I got Scofield winning that by decision. I can't picture a scenario where he knocks out Farmer, but I could picture a scenario where he overwhelms him, smothers him, and Farmer can't get use his legs the way he wants. And I could definitely see that. I could definitely see that, and that's how I am seeing it. To be honest with you, I got Scofield winning by decision. I believe it's a 10-round fight, so I got it probably maybe like 7-3 in favor of Scofield. We'll see though. We'll see. He's a good fighter, Farmer. So I'm like I said, I'm not discounting his chances. Also tomorrow, our guy Hector Bermudez, who's running a little bit late, he gonna be training Jean Pascal, 42-year-old Jean Pascal, like former lineal light heavyweight champion. Believe it or not, is still fighting this time now at the cruiserweight division. He's gonna be fighting some Polish dude named Michel Sielski. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce his last name. No disrespect, but that guy's 36 years old, so he's no spring chicken either. 27-2 with 21 KOs, never been knocked out. I don't know much about this Polish dude, just keeping it real with you. But damn, Jean Pascal at 42 still fighting. I mean, he does have the right person in his corner. I know Hector, he's big into getting people in shape and fitness, and also is a master in terms of teaching the boxing game. But how much can you teach a 42-year-old boxer? How much is left in that gas tank? I don't know, man. I don't know, and I just hope everything goes smoothly if and when that fight happens, for sure. I mean, not if and when, tomorrow. I'm rooting for Pascal just off the strength that he's working with my man Hector Bermudez. But yeah, no, I'm interested. I'm interested as to when Hector comes on for me to ask him about that. I'm definitely interested in that. Yo, by the way, we're 15 days away from Alberto Puello versus Subriel Matias. Oh man, that's like a lot. sooner than like it feels. It feels like, whoa, like that. Damn, is that soon? It's coming out. Is like, is that? Yeah, but 15 days away, the rivalry, the boxing rivalry between Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic starts. And we're going to see how we start. 1-0 or 0-1. I think this is the como el inicio de la rivalidad. The first fight happening when this rivalry starts, because there was no when that the Puerto Ricans, a lot of Puerto Ricans misunderstand when I say, oh, the rivalry. They're like, oh, there's no rivalry, we've always been better than you. And it's true, there's never been a rivalry, because Puerto Ricans have always been significantly better in boxing. That's not here to be argued historically. But the reason I keep bringing up the rivalry is because I think that's a rivalry that both countries can benefit from, which is why I don't want to say fan the flames, because that makes it seem like I'm instigating, but more so I guess you could say, fan the flames for it to happen, because I know at the end of the day, both countries are going to benefit in terms of financially, the interest in the country, uh, um, maybe somebody who is a big baseball fan and loves that rivalry, because we definitely got a rivalry in baseball. Both countries have beat each other in the World Baseball Classic multiple times. They've gone at wars at the Serie de Caribe, and I just want to see that rivalry go to there. And some people who are a big fan of that rivalry in baseball may get interested in this rivalry in boxing if they feel like this is a competitive, rivalry. Right now, there is no rivalry because they're so much better. Well, historically, they're so much better. But if this moving forward can become a rivalry, hey, man, this could be big. This could be really, really big. And I think both countries stand to make a benefit. I think Dominican Republic will stand to make a bigger benefit. One, I do think currently right now we're slightly ahead, no disrespect, and I do think it's close. If all my Puerto Rican followers, I don't want y'all to watch this and be like, yo, I'm shitting on Puerto Rican boxing. That's not what I'm doing. I just feel like right now currently we're slightly better, but it's close, and I think if there's a rivalry more, and you could get some people to be more interested to create like a Yankee Red Sox kind of rivalry. DR is going to benefit more, and I feel like, again, since we're better, in my opinion, we're going to win more of those fights. So that right there is going to boost us. And then Puerto Ricans always support boxing. Now you adding a layer of rivalry, especially our closest neighbor, the country that we're most similar to, whether we like it or not, or they like it or not, is the truth, and both heavily on the East Coast. So when they bring those fights to Madison Square Garden, the Barclays Center, or even fights in Jersey, these fights could become huge. And I definitely see this happening in the future if this rivalry keeps going, if they keep putting Puerto Ricans and Dominicans to fight each other in New York specifically. And, the promoters need to help push that narrative. And I feel like it's something fun. It's something that's and when I say fun is like when Hector comes on, and he might hop on sooner or later. He'll tease me about the Puerto Rican boxers being better and this and that, and it's fun. We'll have a whole back and forth about it. Or when there's always a couple guys in the chat that are Puerto Rican that like to make their comments, and it's always in fun jest. It's never like, for the most part, nobody really gets too crazy personal, not on our end or their end. Obviously, you got a couple fools on both sides, but for the most part, everybody's friendly with the trash talk. Yeah, man, it's something I think that could be good, not only for Puerto Rico and DR, but for boxing in general. Boxing, we don't get events in the big room in Madison Square Garden like that. We getting one with Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor. I'm sure they're about to sell it out the same way they sold it out the first time they fought. But yeah, other than that, like what was the last big boxing event in the Madison Square Garden? Like big room. I remember going for a Teofimo Sandor Martin fight, and that wasn't sold out, and the main event was horrific. You know what I'm saying? Um, but like I don't know, man. I feel like if DR and PR could create a rivalry, they will be able to sell out the big room in Madison Square Garden consistently, which in turn helps boxing because you can put local New York and New Jersey fighters on the undercard, you know, and have, you know, the fans that are coming there to see the main event get them exposed, get the fans exposed to this fighter. You know, that's exposure. That's, and if these fighters from the local area perform, they're benefiting from, you know, what the rivalry is bringing to the table. So even Edwin de los Santos, whose trainer and his wife is Puerto Ricans, mentioned, he's like, yo, he loves the idea because he thinks both country could benefit financially from it, and I definitely see it that way because I seen it in baseball, and if it can happen in baseball, it can happen in boxing. Puerto Ricans already love boxing. Dominicans, for the most part, we have fans, but I don't think we love boxing. I think if we one with the guys coming up, man, these guys are coming up fast, man. Rohan's coming up fast. Jan Santana's coming up fast. Eldy Cedeno looks like they moving them kind of quick, you know. At least they were. They slowed down with the opponent because he was fighting undefeated opponents every almost every fight. I felt. Um, but yeah, now they're building up his record. They have him ranked number 9 in the WBA, and they moving him up. Uh, Luis Nunez is ranked in a couple sanctioning bodies, and these guys in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years are going to be getting title shots. Some of them, some are going to be won, some are going to be lost, but there's going to be multiple fighters of different weight classes from 160 to 118, and and different styles. And for the most part, let's be honest. Dominicans got the most exciting boxing style in boxing. Let's keep it real. There's really not that many boring fights where Dominican was involved. I know people are going to point to the Edwin de los Santos Shakur Stevenson fight, and I'm not going to totally absolve Edwin from that fight being boring. Part of it was his fault, but for the most part, it was Shakur's fault. If from my point of view, and but other than that, like Carlos Adames got an exciting style. Uh, you know, Rohan got an exciting style. Jan Santana got an exciting style. Eddie Cedeno got an exciting style. Luis Nunez got an exciting style. Puello, he's been in some really good fights with Akhmadov and Gary Antoine Russell. Those were good fights. I'm pretty sure his fight with Subriel Matias is also going to be a good fight. Hector Luis Garcia, his fight with Colbert and Gutierrez, both of those fights were exciting. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. Dominican boxing is definitely one of, if not the most entertaining style, for sure. And it's crazy for me to say that, but I genuinely think that. It says while they're fighting today, you think he could come back and have any success? No, that's why I'm not even watching the fight. No disrespect to Deontay Wilder. Was never a fan of him. I just thought he was a good amazing puncher. I just don't think he had like the skills for me to like. I really like skills, and he just those wide punches, and he really, if he didn't catch you with the right hand, which honestly almost all the time he did, that's really all he had. And once Fury could handle that's it. That was it. It was over. He couldn't do nothing. And then he got knocked out by Zhang. And then he made all these excuses. I'm not a big fan of him, to be honest with you. But hold on. Somebody I'm a big fan of is on here. My man Hector Bermudez. What's up, man?
Late night, man. You got fans on this late?
Yeah, man. This Broadway after dark, man, is a little different. Yo, did you go to the barber up in Washington Heights that I took Rohan? You looking fresh, man.
Oh nah, man. I think it's a camera because some dude up here twisted me up, man.
Oh, okay. Now you you even look slimmer. I'm like, oh shit. But
I've
maybe
been
it's the
working
camera
out.
angle.
Rohan said I got to work out, man.
Oh, so you've been slimming down?
Yeah, so
He said in the interview, he was like, yo, he's like, oh, dile que él tiene que rebajar porque tenemos que hacer par de ejercicio y él se me cansa. Yo, yo, I'm pretty sure in the gym, y'all just always laughing, just joking on each other. Shit.
no, not really. Is when we outside of the gym. Once the director says cut, then we just we just it's over. We cool. We crack on each other.
That's what's
You
up.
know, I let all them get off on me on camera.
Not,
Cause I could,
it's
I
funny.
could take it, boy. I be I go hard on them.
No, I could take. Apparently, I could take it too. You saw me. I put up the video with me with the.
Nah.
when you was, I was like, I should. I was watching. I was doing the edits, and I was just like, I came across that part. I was like, I'm gonna post that shit. That shit was hilarious. I don't care that. I don't care that I was the butt of the joke. I'm like, that shit was hilarious.
Nah, it's funny. It's funny, man. It's all in
Yeah.
good faith, man.
Facts. So, yo, somebody here said Hector getting money. That's that money look.
God, there was somebody counting somebody's pockets, man.
Right. Well, speaking of counting pockets, you out in Montreal getting that Canadian dollar. So
Get more money.
talk to me about the exchange. No, I'm joking. You train Jean Pascal.
Yeah, it's my guy, man. John fighting tomorrow. John is old, man. John is 42 years old. He's a old horse. He's stubborn. He don't want to go away. This guy's pretty old too. He's like 36 years old, and ironically enough, if you was to actually look at both of them, John is 42. He's 36, and John or Gene or however the fuck the French people say, Gene looks younger than them.
Yeah, but white people don't age as good as
Especially the Polish motherfuckers,
right? Nah, man. But yo, that's actually the question where I was leading to. So, when do you tell a boxer to retire, or you look at it like, yo, he's a grown man, he can make his own decision. I'll train him until.
Well, no, so he came to me. He came to me a couple fights ago. We've been doing pretty good together. He know I ain't trying to see him get beat up. He knows we stated this. It's not that I don't believe in him, as I know I have to take into consideration that he's 42, and you got one bad round, and I'm calling it.
He knows that. He knows that.
Yeah, and I was like, you can be mad at me all you want, because I'm really here to look out for him. We had a situation with the gloves today. Dudes, I don't know what they thought. They thought I was soft, and I told them I'm old too. I said I'm old, but I know my limits. If I could get anybody, I could get you. So relax. He was like, "You scared? You scared?" Because they had like two different pair of gloves when we was like, going through the rules meeting and checking the gloves out. They had like two pairs of gloves that was different. I was like, man, this ain't allowed. You got to have the same glove. They had a pair of Grants, a pair of Everlast. I was like, nah, you can't wear these gloves. And they were like, oh, you scared? I'm like, first of all, I'm not getting punched. And second of all, you don't know the rules. So we went back and forth. He kept saying I was scared. I was like, my man, I got you.
what was his response? Because he meant you scared of his fight.
No, yeah, but no, that's what I'm saying. Like he was like angry looking at me. Like, you scared? And the English was a little fucked up. And when I told him that, like, and he just kept saying, "You scared, you scared."
Nah, I could definitely see you turning it up on somebody for sure.
Yeah, no, everything's fine and dandy until I mean, shit, you going against the rules. I'm trying to protect my. And he had those fucking the shit that I like that Rohan likes. Everlast MX. I was like, man, I ain't trying to get G hit by those shit.
You- that's funny. Do you, as far as gloves choice for your fighter, you let your fighter pick, or you tell him what to wear?
um, so I have a pretty decent connection with them. So with all of them, so I'll tell them to send me a couple pairs. They send them out usually for free. The fighters to try them on, hit the bag with it, hit the mitts, see how they like it, and then they choose from there. Rohan loves those MX. He won't trade them for nothing, even though he keep hurting his hand in them. But he won't trade them for nothing. He's like, I'd rather hurt my hand on their face.
Not well. They say that the Everlast MX are punches gloves. So he ever tried the Reyes?
No, no, I think he only went with Rival and the MX.
Yo, the thing about Rival gloves, yo, they look. I'm just talking about aesthetically. I've never worn Rival gloves. Yo, they just look big. I know they're whatever. They're 8 ounces, just like
Well,
every other.
they have a couple different pairs. Um, but ironically, you say this, and this is what your boy Jan Santana gets for wearing those stupid ass. He wanted to match his outfit, look
Mhm.
cute, and when he received those gloves, you see those big ass fucking sparring gloves that they gave him his last fight.
Yeah, I did.
That's why he ain't getting no knockout because he them
Yeah,
shits
he
was.
was he was hitting that motherfucker with everything, and he
Yeah, but
kept.
those gloves look like sparring gloves. And that's because he want to match his shit and he want to get those rivals that no, that's
Yeah,
man.
now
You don't
aesthetically,
normally you see Rohan's outfit is his outfit, but you don't normally ever see Rohan's gloves matching his outfit because he don't want to change those gloves.
I got you. So you like, yo, you wearing the red gloves, whether you wearing
Yeah,
pink, orange,
whether
white.
no whatever. But if the MX, that's what you've been knocking motherfuckers out in, and this is what you got. You got to wear that. And usually they don't you got to like beforehand. You got to like send in and get your colors right, months
Hmm.
ahead. And we ain't that structured. I,
Right.
I don't care about no months. I don't care about no outfit. I don't care about none of that.
You know, it's funny. You ever had a situation with a glove besides this situation right here, where you felt you caught somebody on the hand wraps, or doing something funny on the hand wraps, or doing something funny with the gloves? You ever caught somebody?
Yeah, I'm experienced in this game, so I know the rules, and I know like 9 times out of 10, everybody's breaking a little bit of the rules
Hmm.
because the rules are like you really can't use 15 yards of gauze, and you got to use one gauze on both the knuckles and the wrap. Like that's the rule, but no one follows that because usually you do one roll gauze for the knuckle, one roll gauze for the wrap, and it depends. Like tomorrow with these Polish people, oh man, I'm gonna be an asshole to them, right? Because I'm gonna be all over them with the rules. And yeah, so I'm always like not catching them doing anything illegal because I'm already on top of them.
I got you.
Like, you
I got
can't do this, you can't do that.
you.
So
Yeah.
tomorrow they're gonna anything I could do to disrupt the mentality of the fighter that we're fighting.
All right. I got a $2 super chat from my man Freddy. He says, Hector, ¿cuáles son las claves para Crawford ganar? What are the points where Crawford? What does Crawford have to do to win the fight? Thank you so much, Freddie.
If you see when Crawford fought Postal,
Mm.
That
All right.
Crawford, I don't know if that Crawford could show up, but that Crawford would be able to really beat Canelo.
Yeah, I was. Listen. I don't know, because I was like, man, Crawford, nice, this, down the third, but just I just can't see it. And when seeing Canelo's just confidence when he was shitting on his resume, I'm like, man, there's too much weight, and I don't think he has the legs that he has when he fought Postal, that he got a box and stuff like that. I can't see it. I tried every single which way to picture Crawford winning, and I just can't do it. But if he was to win, it would be boxing. It would be moving around, because you're not gonna
Yeah,
get hit.
it's just like how, when you're picking someone like Crawford and you have so many, so many question marks. If he could do this, how he's going to go up in weight, how he's going to perform, the way he performed at 154, the way he looked, the movement, and now he's going to go up not to 60 but to 68. And it's just so many, boxing is boxing. I mean, who thought Sugar Ray Leonard was going to, come off a 3-year layoff to beat Marvin Hagler, right? It happened. But, there's so many question marks there that it's difficult to pick Crawford.
I got you. I got him, Xavier. He says Scofield versus Farmer prediction.
Man, I 100% defense is better on Farmer side. Offense is better on Farmer side. One when you got when you have these three elements, right? You got speed, power, and timing, right? Like what would you prefer, Joel? Would you prefer speed over power or power over speed? Have you ever thought about that?
I've never thought about it. I never
So
thought about it.
on the chat, can the people, whoever's on here on the chat, could someone answer that? Like,
Yeah. For those listening, make sure y'all comment right there in the comment section. Would y'all rather have speed or power? I think I would rather have speed. I think so.
Yeah.
And the only reason I say that is because power, like it's something Teddy Atlas used to say. He's like, you can have the missile, but if you don't have the delivery system, what's the point of having a missile? Now, if I'm fast, I could land 6-7 punches on you, move around, and yeah, maybe I'm not knocking you out, but I'm accumulating points, and maybe I'm not knocking you out now. But what about in the 9th and 10th and 11th round? What happened?
Is the missile you saying the missile system is the because that so someone there says timing, right? Timing.
You didn't give me the option of timing.
Yeah, I didn't give them the option either. But Fernandez 93-43 don't know how to follow rules.
I got Juan de lo Mio. He says speed.
Yeah, speed. So of course you would want, like in boxing, you might want speed over power, right?
Yeah.
And with speed, if timing isn't an element with speed, then you're just gonna have fast movement or waste of movement. You need timing, right? So now this is actually, let's talk about Rohan. Rohan timing is on an elite level because so his speed, he has speed. I will question Rohan's power some. I don't think he has this like crazy power how it looks. It's timing and speed, right? And his counterpunching ability. So timing is gained through experience, right? And pattern recognition. So when you have those elements, right? You have, the question was Farmer, right? This is how this came about. So Farmer has all the elements, right? How can you go against him if, let's say, you're betting? I will have to go with Farmer, but then the thing with De La Hoya promotion, like, is always, you have to really, really beat this boy to get him.
I got you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, one thing I saw,
Farmer's a better fighter.
One thing, and to add to your point, one thing I saw was at the press conference, Farmer was confident, getting in his face, pushing him, like, and it kind of low key looked like he punked Scofield. Like Scofield ain't know what to do at that sit. Like he wasn't expecting him to be so confident. And I don't always take everything away from a press conference and make a prediction that way, but I'd never dismiss it. If something happened, like I remember not knowing who I thought was gonna win when Jose Ramirez was gonna fight Josh Taylor for undisputed. Yo, and Josh Taylor punked the shit out of him at the weigh-in, like bad. And I was like, oh man, this guy's getting fucked up tomorrow. Like I was so sure of it. I was so sure of it. I made some bread too. I was like, yo, Josh Taylor knocking this dude out. In my mind, he ended up not knocking him out. He ended up dropping him twice and beating him. But yeah, to add to your point, that's another thing that makes me think like Farmer has a lot better chance than people giving him credit for. I have here Freddy. Who's oh no, guy, you got something to say?
Yeah, so I remember when we fought when we fought your boy. Uh yeah, what's the dude from Brooklyn there? Um
Hitchens, Colbert.
no, Rohan fought him.
Francis, Caesar Francis.
Yeah, so I remember I remember Rohan was having a hard time making the weight. And I don't know. There was Caesar's an awesome individual, and the commission was like, uh, "You don't touch each other. Don't touch each other." You know when they go face off, and Rohan was like, "Listen." He touched him. He was like, "You could do whatever you want to do. I ain't right." He didn't want to stare at him. He was like, "You can do whatever you want to do." And Caesar was like, but when he did it, he didn't mean to like touch him. Like he just like tapped him, like, "Yo, listen, you got it. I'm not sure. You know, this is all you. You got it." And they was happy that they he stared Rohan down, and trust me, it doesn't mean anything, man. Absolutely nothing, man. I know there's a power dynamic in it. There is a power dynamic in it that that you will want to see. I remember when I had a kid, I had Mark DeLuca fighting out there in England. He fought what's the Triple G fought him. He did really good against Triple G. He beat Porter for the title.
He did good. Deverenchenko did good against him. Who else did
No, a
good?
while ago. He beat Porter for the IBF title.
He beat who?
Porter. Sean Porter.
Kell Brook?
Yeah. So Mark DeLuca fought Kell Brooks, and they was like, Kell Brooks was like, they was all about that. They was all about the weigh-ins and looking at the eyes, and it was just like, what you gonna see? We're when you make it this far, I don't know. Listen, I'll be highly upset if that even has a tenth of substance entering my fighter's mind.
Nah, this is what I'm gonna push back on you, because like you mentioned here before, you don't know what the percentage is about mentality in boxing, but you know it's a high percentage. So if you're telling me I could get in your head, even whatever make you think, make you question yourself.
If you wanted my fighter the way we work, like no, we.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You saying that should be beneath you if you're one of my fighters, because the way we prepare.
And only not just my fighters, but when you at a certain level, that shit should be like, that shit ain't nothing.
Yeah. All right. I have here Freddy, who sends $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Freddy. He says, is Rohan versus Norman a 50-50 fight?
Absolutely not. No. I know Norman. I know he looked sensational. He did. The knockout was awesome. I just watched 3 of his fights today.
Oh, you studying up that hard?
Yeah. No, just I'm doing my job. I'm here. I'm just doing my job. So, yeah, no, he's not 50-50. Yeah, absolutely not. So
What, what,
we just went through the power down. We went with the three elements of time and speed and power.
hmm
Okay, and I think everybody will agree that power is probably the lowest one like that you will want, and that's all the kid would have. Where I can't say it's 50-50. I mean, he could fucking do something and not Rohan out. It's boxing. But what I'm saying is, if you ask me a question like that, when I know that speed and timing is on Rohan's side, along with balance,
mm.
no, we can't say it's 50-50. You
That,
can't
that
bet against Rohan on that fight.
yeah, no, I agree. I
Not
agree. And
because
also
we're
I
here and I'm talking to you and he's my fighter. I'm looking at it as I just saw him fight in 3 fights. I was there. So this is now. I mean, he will with experience, timing will come, right?
hmm
So he will get better. He's only 24 years old. I believe that you know it's tough that he's a world champion now. People's gunning after him, but if it's some way somehow they could keep getting him fights that he could win, man. In another two, the way they did Tank, like in another 2 years, I mean, he would have to have the schooling. I don't know if his father's that sophisticated, but he yeah, it seems like he's not, but he's doing a great job with his son. He don't I don't think he trained anybody else. But anyhow, so I think he's going to be a monster to come. Like when he's 26, 27 years old, he's going to be a beast. But right now, if it's 50-50, hell no. No, absolutely not.
yeah, I had him on. I had his father mention, as you mentioned, I had him on my show, and one things he said is that he asked Carl Moretti for Polanco in a scenario he doesn't get a fight like Devin Haney or Boots or whatever, that he wants Rohan in a homecoming fight in Atlanta. Is that something you guys would entertain going to his hometown? And
Listen,
do you believe him?
all my world champions, but I think one was all B side and going away.
Mm,
So it's that is easy. That is easy.
okay, okay. Here's the
You
nobody.
think at the moment at this moment in time, do you think like the crowd would intimidate somebody like Rohan? Like,
No, no, no. That wasn't even the basis of the question. The basis of the question was get a fair decision. You know.
no, that's gonna be that boy. If it happens, I'm telling you, Joe. If it happens now, like the homecoming that he won, that they're not picking Rohan because I'm pretty sure that there's much more smarter people on his team than his father. Right? I'm sure. I'm sure of it.
And the smart decision is to not pick Rohan for a homecoming. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely. No, he's a young bull. Rohan is hungry. I know they're hungry, but who hungrier than Rohan when he living? Rohan's got enough money where he could buy a house. I mean, he bought his mama a house. He could buy another. He living in the gym.
Mm, I got you. You ever worry? You ever worry when the money come, he get comfortable? And I'm not saying that about him specifically,
No,
but
I have experience with Dominicans, man. Dominicans
that
is
there we
fucking
go.
they show offs, man. They like to wear big New York Yankee hats and stuff like that. They want to look good all the time. And I got experience with them, and boy, that's my son, man. He ain't falling to that trap.
I
Not under
got you.
my watch.
Good, good, good. That's the reason why I asked the question. I have the Nobody 92 with a $2 super chat. He says, "Tell us about Miguel Arias."
Oh, I'm learning a little bit more. I'm learning about him a little bit more. Um, I what stand out is how responsible he is. How um, sometimes I say stuff to people or to fighters that you know I at least want 80% of it done.
hmm
I know it's a lot for them, and I just let me just say this, that, and he's doing 100 of it, and it's
Okay.
surprising to me. right? And I'm like, all right, he's responsible, right? So with responsibility comes maturity. So
How,
he's on point.
how old is he?
He's like 27, maybe
Okay.
28, 27.
All right. All
I
right.
don't know. I
And is,
think yeah, something like he's a little older than Rohan.
who's he signed to managerial wise, promoter wise? Or what's his situation?
There's a lady that I never met her. I chatted a little bit on WhatsApp. Um, what is her name? Raquel Del Rio, something like that.
No, I'm not familiar with her.
No,
Uh,
I think she's new. I think she has a passion for it, and she's treating I think she got like two, three fighters. He's one of them. There's another kid. I forgot the other kid's name, but
okay.
yeah, she's on it. And when the little bit I spoke to her, I was like, listen, you want me to take him on? I need it's gonna cost some money, right? It's gonna cost some money where we got to get him fights. We got to get him the right fights. We got to move him along quick. And she's all for it. And I was like, hey, boy, I got one because the motherfucker, that boy knocked a building down, boy.
Oh, he cracking like that?
Yeah. But as we
What,
say, power is the lowest form,
no, of course, but it's also it's. I agree that if you're telling me speed, timing, and power, that I would say that would be the lowest one of importance. That I would agree with, but I
But
would
at
say
least he got it, right?
it's the most effective when it's executed.
Yeah.
So I like you get what I'm saying. You could be losing a fight if you got power. You could you could just drop one on him. Is he gonna fight at 54 or 60?
I think 50. You know me.
You
He
cutting
fuck
down.
around at
Fuck,
47.
no, I was just gonna say he fuck around fight at 47. That'd be some wild shit. That'd be some wild shit.
Yeah. Now, probably 54, though.
All right. I have Fernandez who sends a $2 super chat. Salute to you. He says, how do you see Rohan next fight? Decision or knockout?
Rohan's stuck on his knockout. There's a couple of elements that will be placed, and I don't think the guy can handle our game plan because we're treating him like we treat every fighter like they're fucking whatever style it is. We put them and we're fighting. So his style is similar to Mayweather. So we're studying how to beat Mayweather.
Mm,
Uh, he liked the shoulder roll, flicking the jab, and so we're studying. People that's over his skill set. The guy's skilled. The guy's tough. Rangy, tall, and I just think that Rohan understands. We had a long talk yesterday, and I made him repeat the game plan to me, and he did it. And by him, one thing is saying it, one thing is doing it, but at least he knows it and he's drilling it. He's drilling the game plan. So I think he understands it to a point where I don't think this guy is going to be able to go the whole 10. But he will if he do the just runs.
yeah. I wanted to ask you about that. So, like your fighters, I would consider you an offensive trainer. Is that fair to say?
Actually, no. No one would say that. Only people that see how my fighters fight would think so. But no, because
Why,
it's
all right. So,
because the
why?
way it's
Yeah.
so how I train it in the gym. I mean, you tell me, right? So if I was to train, I train 75% defense in the gym constantly. So if we're doing 3 rounds, right? Let's say, for example, we're doing 3 rounds of sparring. 2 of the 3 rounds, I need to see your eyes, and I need to see you alert on defense. So I ain't saying you have to have your hands up, right? I ain't saying that you have to have the shoulder roll. long guard, full guard. I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying I need to see your eye because sometimes you could just have your hands down and be on defense,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because defense is about awareness. It's not really hand placement, right? Because you can have your hands up and get hit. So I just need your awareness to be on 100.
Mm.
You follow that?
Okay.
So
So
two of those 3 rounds would have to be defensive. So now what you see is what you see my style being is like what someone what custom model used to teach. It's a aggressive defensive counter punching. Like
mm,
I'm coming forward, but I'm on defense coming forward, and I'm looking for you to punch so I could counter you.
that yeah, that's the Mike Tyson like peekaboo. That's his, and because a lot of times people,
You
it's
go
funny
do
you
you
say
go
that.
do the movement.
Nah.
You go do the
No, but yeah, I guess I understand what you're saying because you mentioned custom model. That's something he was talking about with Mike Tyson, how that peekaboo style would be allow him to come forward as aggressive as possible. And you know how Mike Tyson used to come out round one, uh,
play.
but very defensively responsible. Even the fights where he went, 12 rounds. He didn't take as much punishment as a normal quote unquote offensive fighter would fight. But I feel like your fighters come with a certain type of mentality, but also don't get hit. But you're looking at more so the defense, the work, the skills in that sense than the aggression. Am I kind of getting that right?
Yeah. So yeah, come forward, go get your man, right? Go get your man, but defense is first, right? Be
Hey man,
responsible.
that's nah,
So if you ever see like you say you're gonna come up and well you saw Rohan fight. I mean he's sparring. And when you saw him sparring, he didn't use the Philly shell, right?
no, he had the high guard.
Yeah. He never uses the Philly shell in training. He uses it always in the fight though.
That's weird to me because, like, I've always heard the term, practice how you play. And why would you practice in a way you're not going to be fighting,
Good, it's a good question. So he's playing. He's not fighting yet. Rohan never got to a point where this is really challenging. Because
Mm,
you're only gonna revert back to what you know how to do, what you normally do,
okay.
right? Think
Uh,
about that, right? When all goes wrong,
yeah,
right?
you're
This is
going to
why
go.
fundamental. This is why fundamental is very important because it is a reference point for you to go back to when everything is messed up, right? So shit is going wrong. Let me get back to these fundamentals and let me get this shit right, right? So now he's always on fundamentals in the gym, and then when he goes out to fight, this shit is not that hard. Now, if it gets hard, then you will start to see him reverting back to okay, let's we in battle mode. Right?
Yeah. No, that's, I never looked at it that way. So, okay. All right. That's interesting. I definitely find that interesting. I have Freddie here who sends $2 super chat. Salute to you, Freddie. He says, how good do you think is Shakur? He is one of my favorites.
Well, shit. I mean, Shakur is one of the top young talents, right, in boxing. He impressive amateur background. He won silver, right, against his daddy, right? No, that's true.
No,
That's Keyshawn.
he got silver versus Robesi Ramirez. It
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
a
right. That's right. But he got,
Keyshawn got a
he
medal.
got in 2016 Olympics.
I want to say yeah. I want to say either that or 2012. I don't remember. I think it was 2012. I don't know. No, it
Yeah,
was 2016. 2016. Yeah.
yeah, and then he's exceptional. His exceptional defense ability, his ring IQ. It's he's awesome to watch.
But
multiple world titles. Different weight classes.
what do you make of people criticizing his entertainment value?
So when we're in the gym, right? When we're in the gym, like him, Boo Boo Andre, Mayweather, like when we're in the gym, we're trying to teach. Like I'm trying to teach someone to be perfect, and these guys, like if I was to show you, I don't know. See, I wish I knew how to. I keep telling you that you have to teach me how to like screen record.
You don't see
Not
where it
screen
says
record.
present. See where it says
Yeah.
present. Click present, and then the screen is going to show on your screen.
So it says share screen.
Yeah. So click that.
Now it says screen sharing tips.
There you go. This is what when you're dealing with old people, you got to break it down to them in parts, man. You can't throw it all at them at once, man. He just found out how to use a link. That was step one. I told you got to put your finger on the glass where it says the link, and then now we teaching him how to screen share. You got it?
Open system setting. Now it's opening.
Yeah, I don't know. When I press it, it says share screen. I click it.
Yeah, mine's not doing it. I got like a whole bunch of Google would like to record this computer screen, grant access.
There you go. You got it. Oh, so you haven't granted it access. That's what it is. I'm gonna just I was gonna text it to you, but you're on the phone. So, or you doing this from your laptop?
My laptop. So I'm hitting it.
All right. I'm gonna show you how to do it. I'm gonna record this. Look, present. Click present. Screen share. Share this blue button. Share screen. And then you click what you're gonna do here, either where it says entire screen, window, or here. All right, so I'm gonna just send you this video, and salute to everybody who's bearing with us. They're
gonna have a treat.
You about to give some breakdowns? All right, I just texted to you. Somebody wrote, Rohan is a clone between Mayweather and Canelo Alvarez. What do you think of that comparison?
Yeah, so the hooks could come from Canelo, the turtle shell could come from Mayweather. I could see it. His speed.
Yeah. I like that comparison. Those are definitely two guys you want to be compared to. Oh, and I wanted to address something you said about Rohan's power. I actually think I agree. I think he's just so sharp with it, and he lands punches at such an awkward angle that guys don't see the punch, and they're getting hit fully. It's not like, I'm not saying he's Paulie Malignaggi, but you know what I'm saying? If somebody's catching you clean and you didn't even see the punch coming, it's gonna have way more effect than a power puncher where you had a chance to tense up, you had a chance to partially block it, you had a chance to roll with it a little bit. He catches guys fully clean, like how he caught Cesar Francis. The first time I saw that left hook, the next interview I was like, yo, what the fuck was that? Because I know that ain't no regular ass left hook. And he broke it down to me. And even what's his name, Merengue Abreu came on and said he was the one who taught him that hook. You don't believe it?
Yeah, listen, Rohan is he is man, he's such a prideful Dominican, right? He's very patriotic, but so he always giving credit. He get a manager to be like, hey, how's this guy? Is this guy any good? He's like, yeah, he's good. Sign him. Like, my man, he ain't good.
So he trying to give credit to a Dominican, even though it wasn't him.
Yeah, he is. He could definitely, man. I don't know that he could talk. He'll defend the motherfucker that sucks and make you believe that
Well,
he's good.
I'll say this. I'll say this. To be fair, when I interviewed Juan Carlos Abreu, I mean Merengue, what he told me was, "Yo, I learned that from fighting Humberto Soto." So he learned that from a Mexican. So if we go in that route, it still didn't come from. I mean, I guess it came from a Dominican, but he learned it from a fight where he had with Humberto Soto. But you saying it was you who taught him?
Yeah, because it's the development of course. I mean, who else? I
No,
mean,
I mean, if he's saying something to the contrary, I don't think that's an unfair question.
no, I mean, I don't care if Merengue gets the credit. Who taught? But like, who taught it to Merengue? Is
Well,
what I'm saying. Like,
what
it's gonna come.
Merengue told me was he got hit with it and he didn't see the punch, and then when he saw the replay of the knockdown, he saw the hook and he started practicing in the gym, and he was hurting guys and dropping guys, and through proxy he taught it to Rohan. That's the way he put it.
Yeah, no.
Jose Rod. We'll move on. Jose Rodriguez says most of the Dominicans coming up are 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 being trained by Puerto Rican trainers. We still got shit to do with it. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, hey, I actually made a YouTube video, Instagram reel about that, like how Dominican box is on the way up, but we still got to look at our Caribbean brothers who gave us the hand to bring us up. The Dominican Olympic team is ran by a bunch of Cubans. All the Dominican boxers that come on my channel, they give credit to that system. And then Bob Santos is Puerto Rican, and he trained a lot of the Dominicans when they was having success. Hector Bermudez, Puerto Rican. And then also there was some other Cubans like Sensei. He got the Cedeno brothers. Salas got a bunch of Dominicans right now. So I definitely, both Cubans and Puerto Ricans, the voice of Dominican boxing, who's documenting this part of history, can say that both the Cubans and the Puerto Ricans had a major part in this movement in bringing us up. That we about to go ahead of both countries, that's a topic for a different conversation. But for sure, Puerto Ricans definitely have a big part to do with our success currently. Hey, oh, I don't know what happened to Hector. Hector hopped off. ¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde está el comentario que no lo puse? Coño, la tecnología está ganando a Héctor. Parece que sí. My man hopped off. I don't know what happened. Hopefully he'll hop back on. Aquí dice, well, this is a question for Hector, so we'll wait till he hops back on, hopefully. And we'll get it together. Tell Hector to keep Polanco away from Norman, bro. For what? Like, that's a title shot. One where I think Hector got it. I mean, excuse me, Polanco got it. I don't think he could beat Polanco. I don't think Norman could beat Polanco. That's just me being real. That's not, if I felt the other way, I might have gave you an answer like, you never know. Let's see, let Rohan get some more experience down the line. Anybody got a shot? I would have, but I'm just keeping it real. Yo, Polanco, I think he stops Norman. Norman's a talented fighter. No point that I say he's bad. No point. I don't want people clipping stuff and making it seem like I'm saying Norman is trash. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I believe in Rohan's talent, and I think he could beat Norman. I really do. No, and the fact that Hector Bermudez just came on his channel, said he saw 3 fights of Brian Norman just recently. Wow, that's I gotta give the favor to Rohan. My man's already putting the game plan, already studying him. So when the time comes, it's just whatever you studied, you just add in. Oh shit. Yo, my man stepped up his game. Jose Corpus. What's up with the background? What's going on, my man?
No, man, I'm trying to get fancy.
Yeah, man. Shout out to you for the people watching the background. Oh man, he hopped back on. That's perfect. This is about to be a good one. I got my man
All
Hector
right.
Bermudez
That's my guy.
and Jose Corpus. This was I
Trying to
asked Jose
upgrade
if he could hop on, and
trying to upgrade my game here. I'm not sure what's going on with the background, but
He got
I'm
a
gonna leave
couple
it.
old.
I'm gonna leave
Joel,
it though.
hey, Joel, I
I've
got a
been
couple
playing.
old dudes on here.
I got my senior citizen crew. I got y'all up, man. They gonna hate me in the morning. This damn Broadway kept me up, man.
Get off my lawn.
Right.
What's up, guys?
Nothing much, man. Well, first, Jose, welcome. I don't know how long you've been here, man. Shout out to you. How's the book doing?
I mean, the few people who got back to me seem to like it. I don't know anything about sales though. I won't know that for 60 days.
No, okay. Hector, have you had a chance to read the book for about error?
I'm reading it now. I messed up because I was in the mix of reading it, and then when I got out the car, got dropped off at the airport. I left it in the car.
Oh
So
no.
no. It's safe. It's safe, but I meant to bring it with me on the plane.
Oh, okay. Also, like the person who dropped you off is in their car.
Yeah. No, it's
I got
safe.
you.
It's safe.
All right.
But I got to the nitty gritty. I passed all you making the reader understand what you're trying to do with the four belt, and once I hit the first one is the heavyweights.
Yeah.
And once I hit the heavyweights, I'm like, okay, we're gonna stop right here because I actually had one of my fighters' name is Thomas Blumenfeld.
Mm-hmm.
We was driving to the fights, and as I'm driving, he was reading it like out loud.
Okay.
Right, and then when he drove back, I was reading it. You know, we was going back and forth, so the ride was smooth. I like to educate them too. You know.
All right, good.
Nah, that's dope. That's dope that you have that kind of relationship with your fighters where y'all literally reading to each other. That's
yeah.
fire.
We do a lot of film study like that too. A lot of film study.
Okay, all right. I got it. Okay.
We was doing the film study on we was doing film study on your boy. I mean, I wish I could show you because I
can't figure it out.
Yeah, I can't figure it out.
Next time. Well, I'm gonna be in Springfield.
Let me try one more time here.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in Springfield sometime soon. So I'll show you how to do it there. Why you try to figure that out? Let me read this super chat. This $5 super chat from Freddy. Thank you so much, Freddy. He says, ¿hay algo que Héctor le gustaría agregar o mejorar en el estilo de Rohan Polanco? ¿Y qué piensa de un peleador como Subriel decir que no tiene plan? He says, what would you like to add to Rohan or make better on Rohan's style? And also, what do you think of a fighter like Subriel Matias who says he doesn't even have a game plan?
Subriel Matias is saying Rohan don't have a game plan?
No. That Subriel says that he goes into a fight with no game plan.
Yeah, it looks like he don't. It looks like he doesn't. No, he's just fighting, right? He's not. It's nothing. Fighting. Subriel Matias is you about to. Well, you don't have to go to war with him, but he's come to fight. He's got really twitchy speed. His hands, he's strong with his lead hand. He usually don't throw his backhand a lot. I think he kind of slaps with it. I won't be surprised if if he says he's left-handed or what, but it looks like that. But his style, it would be an awesome fight for Rohan because Rohan would just pick him. I mean, I think I don't think it's gonna happen because he's comfortable at 40. But what I would like for Rohan to change on Rohan, just remember Rohan only got like 15, 16 fights, and Brian Norman's awesome because he got 28 fights. Boots Ennis got 30 something fights. Like once you start to get into the mid 20s and upper 20s, you start to like gain so much experience, and by gaining that experience, you gain that timing that we was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So you start to read pattern recognition like fast, like so. What is when I used to play chess like at a high level, and I see boxing like that, like it's problem solving at its highest level,
Mm-hmm.
right? And but with fucking with dire consequences, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is pattern recognition. It is problem solving. Really, the fastest that you can solve what's in front of you. Um, so that's why Rohan needs ring time, because he he's the type of fighter that has an IQ. He's not a Matias, right? Matias doesn't have the ability to do that. He's just
Mhm.
he Matias is just fucking you up, right? He doesn't dissect you. He's not studying. Okay, when he does this, I'm gonna do this. Uh, that type of fighter.
I got you.
He's
Okay.
just dealing with what's in front of him.
I want to ask Jose, do you know of any other fighter that says he goes into a fight with no game plan? I never heard of something like that. At a world level, maybe some journeyman here or there, but at a world level,
I don't know if you could believe them when they say that, but like Hector said though, I mean, how many game plans, how many plan Bs and Cs can Subriel have? He's really just one gear, right?
mm,
Just come forward and throw punches. So that's his game plan. He's got to live and die with it though. But
yeah,
I don't see him. It's not like he could dance all of a sudden, you know.
yeah. I never, and by the way, I never heard him say that. I only said that because that person commented that. Because on my channel, what Subriel said was like, just I'm just letting you know for Puello, I got a surprise. Like he's gonna do something different. Maybe fight southpaw. Maybe box. Maybe I don't know. That he just kind of left it vague. That's what he said on my channel. Maybe he went on another channel and said that he doesn't have a game plan. But on my channel, he said that he has a surprise for Puello. So we'll see what that is. We'll see what that is.
Well, I
Um,
think I think he'll have problems navigating like through a fight if you don't have a game plan. This is why when people don't have game plan, they have a lot of hiccups. So it's
mhm.
difficult to navigate effectively, right?
Yeah.
How do you effectively prepare, right? It just I don't know. I just don't know how to do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
Like
Like I said,
tomorrow, I got John Pascal. We study the guy. I have him down packed, and I just don't know if John is able to do it at 42.
yeah.
But we understand what we have to do.
Yeah, I want to say this about Jean Pascal. One of the things I remember from him is that he needed to correct, and I'm talking about from his prime years. I don't know, I haven't seen him fight in years. Was one, he used to throw everything so hard, and another thing, he would punch, and if it didn't land on your glove or land on your face, he would fall over, and that a lot of that was happening. Is that
It's
something
still
where he can't?
happening.
All right, all right. And I was just gonna ask, is that something you were able to correct?
No,
That is
it's
the only
still
thing you.
no. We just when you get someone like that, you're in training camp implementing a strategy. You can't try to fix someone like that in the training camp, especially when you come to me in 6 weeks. You're training by yourself, and then you come to me in 6 weeks, want me to make a miracle. And then he's so busy that he's leaving camp, he's coming back, and I let he's older. He's at the very end of his career, so he could do that. Like
Mhm.
a young boy, I would not allow him to do that. But he's 42 years old. He could do.
Yeah,
I
and he
just let
made
him.
yeah, he's made some money for Chad Dawson, for
No, he's
Hopkins.
good, man. He has a beautiful house, cars. He's good. He's chasing legacy.
Hey, cruiserweight division is open for that, so you know.
So he'll be if he wins this. I don't know how many weight classes he won belts, but
Well, listen, lucky for him, he's fighting in the 4 belt era. Ain't that right, Jose?
yes.
Yeah, they need that. Who's he fighting though? The Canadian guy with the tattoos on his neck.
Nah, he's fighting some Polish guy.
Yeah, Michael Cieslak, some shit like that.
Oh, she's like, yeah, okay. How is Don Majeski involved with that? Is
I
he
don't
involved
know.
with one of the fighters?
Yeah, I don't know.
Cause I just spoke to him. He said he was supposed to be out there. I was just curious how he was involved with it. I thought he was involved with John Pascal.
There's a fight going on right now with M. Billy, like 2 hours from here.
Right.
A
Yeah.
whole card, M. Billy, a kid named Butler fighting on the card. And then there's ours tomorrow. So I don't. Is he dealing with ours tomorrow or?
Nah, he was supposed to fly out there to Canada, but then he said he just didn't have to go. I just got back from a wake. Ed Post, the guy who owns Spartan Gear, right? He passed away like 2 days ago. So a whole bunch of us were there at the wake in Queens. That's where I bumped into him.
Oh, you bumped into who else? Damn, who else you ran into at the wake? It's unfortunate, but I know
Usual New York crowd. I ran Barkley, Junior Jones, Vito, couple guys from the commission, couple of lawyers, couple of referees. I mean, I can name drop. I know Hector knows a lot of them. Hector, you know Jose Medina from Jersey?
Yeah.
The short guy? Yeah, a bunch of them.
Oh, okay.
And Majeski. Yep.
Yeah, nah, Don Majeski. Yo, Don Majeski is like a fucking boxing Bible. When I interviewed him, he was just spitting facts, man. I would love to do a live with Jose and Don Majeski there. I feel like we will uncover a lot of untold stories.
Honestly, when I'm with him, I just like to listen to him.
Yeah, that's saying a lot because you know a lot.
I just listen to him. Yeah.
It's fun. It's funny you mentioned because I remember you mentioned on my channel before that your forte is mostly like Latin boxing, and that's something that Majeski said as well. Like that's where he's strongest at is with Latino fighters. For whatever reason, he felt drawn to them.
Because he knew how to say hola, so they thought he spoke Spanish, so they kept sending him out to Panama. That's what happened.
Yeah, honestly, he mentioned that it was him who brought Monzon and Duran and a few guys to Don King. I'm like, yo, you had a fingerprint in these Hall of Famers, bringing them to Don King, another Hall of Famer. Like, and he says it so casually, like it's just something normal. And I'm like, whoa, it's interesting how somebody who you never heard of can have such a huge imprint in boxing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
is he in the Hall of Fame?
Nah, he doesn't put his name out there. He doesn't put his face out there or his name out there. He's involved with so much, but he stays in the background. He likes it that way better.
Yeah, I also don't know what he would be in the Hall of Fame for in terms of like, usually your manager, your promoter. I don't know. Do managers
He basically is the guy that started the Hall of Fame, right? That Hall of Fame, he did a lot to get that thing running anyway.
Yeah. I just wish it wasn't in Canastota, man. Like, yo.
Hector, you ever been there to the Canastota?
Oh, shit. Like, there was one time in my life where it was like every year.
Well, how far is that from where you from? I know you're from Albany. How far is that from?
Yeah, exactly. Not that far, like an hour and a half.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because I've always wanted to go, but I'm like, Diablo.
No, it's a little trip for you, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, and it's not like, yo, it's taking a trip. You're going to be in Vegas. You're going to be in Miami. After the event, you could go.
You have to go, like, usually people go when there's a fight at Turning Stone Casino.
Verona?
Which is like, yeah, so it's right by there, So usually people go when there's a fight there. Rohan. I remember his first fight with Top Rank. He was supposed to fight that. It was, which I thought it was a tough fight. You know the deaf guy. His name is Smith, Julian
What
Smith.
Julian
He
Smith?
yeah, he can't hear. He's like deaf.
Oh yeah. I'm familiar with him. Yeah.
Yeah. He beat a couple prospects. He beat that Cuban prospect too. I remember Rohan's first fight was supposed to be against him with Top Rank at Turnstone, and he didn't show up. But Rohan had a little bus from New York City, ride up, and we went to the boxing Hall of Fame.
Damn. So all those people took the bus and they didn't get to see.
Nah,
Damn. That's disappointing. That's disappointing to hear. Is he anticipating a lot of fans coming to this fight coming up?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think he is.
He's been selling his tickets.
I mean, he don't have physical tickets, but he's giving out the link that they gave him. So, and
Yeah,
people are buying it and sending him like
you can keep track of how many he sold.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Jose, they Top Rank made a link that
Right.
if you buy it from that link, it gives a notification to Ticketmaster, which notifies Top Rank who is selling the tickets.
Does Rohan get something too? Does he know how many tickets he sold?
Yeah, is he getting a cut? That's a good question.
No. He's not gonna get a cut of it.
This is just damn. That's fucked up. You got dudes pushing, selling your tickets, and it's like, yeah, it's like you want the fighter to do the promoter's job. That's some BS, man.
Well, I guess the good thing is that is a process. Let's say he's impressive.
Okay.
And now we know that he's impressive. So it's a double-edged sword. Like, so now you gotta, up the money.
I mean, do you guys have? Did you guys have access to how many tickets are sold?
No.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't.
You could sell 1,000 tickets, and they tell you sell you 100.
Yeah, because they got that rep that they can't sell tickets. So I was just wondering if you had something to show back, like 5,000 were there, but 2,000 came to see me.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, last time, the first time he fought Madison Square Garden, when he fought the Argentinian guy Lopez, he brought a big crowd. What was perfect about it is they were right where the TV, right kind of like in that 100 level, right where the TV section was. So every time he landed a punch or scored a knockdown, you would just see the people in the crowd. I'm hoping that same crowd is there ready to support for his next fight. This could possibly be his last fight on ESPN. Unfortunately, it's on ESPN Plus, and I think a lot is riding on this fight. I think a lot is riding on this fight because a win over this is another defense of the WBO Intercontinental belt, and then that's another notch under his belt where he's moving up the rankings to position himself to be a mandatory.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't want to keep you guys up too late. Last time I kept you guys all the way up to it was almost 1 a.m. I don't know if you guys want to shut it down, or you guys got anything else you guys want to get on your chest. Any fans want to ask a question in the chat before I shut it down?
I'm curious with Hector. Hector, how you know guys ready for anybody? Like what do you see?
Yeah, so when I see that he could defend himself, this talent level. Talent is something that's God given, right? Talent is something that I can't teach. You have to have it within you, and my job is to bring it out of you. So you have your talent. I implement all the fundamentals. I keep reminding you that it's defense first before offense, and then come back to defense after offense. So when I see that transition is like is snapping, is back and forth, is like, all right, then now let's hope that you have the talent to when you execute this, right? And I'm a position guy. I'm not too much like stuck on offense. This is why like I hardly ever hit like mitts and stuff. But I'm a position guy. Like offense is just like a formality of like good positioning over
Mm.
over time, right? Over time we get position, and over time I'm gonna get you, right? If I could outbalance you, I'm gonna keep winning the tempo, like things like that. And I know he's ready where he could put pressure when he needs to. He could box when he needs to. He could counter punch when he needs to. He could make you punch, make the opponent engage. And that's when and it's a good question because Rohan wasn't always like that. And there was a lot of opponents that came across my table, and I would always, even like there was a time where I said no to Cesar Francis. I said
Yeah.
no, even though I thought that he might could beat him, but I was like, I'm not willing to risk it.
Yeah, I know Caesar Francis. I used to train in the same gym with. I trained in one gym where his uncle and his cousin used to be trainers in, and then and so I know them well. And then I went to another gym, and then he was getting trained there by his uncle and cousin, and so I knew him very well, and I knew his family very well. And when I heard Rohan was getting a fight, he had like 11 fights, 10 fights, or it was something. It might have been 9 fights. I'm like, what are we doing? And I was like, this is not an easy fight. I got to see the archive, see if I can find the live from there. I
Yeah,
remember now.
I think it was like 6 fights that was offered. I was like, no, no, and there was some people upset with me. And then when it came back again, I was like, okay, now we ready. Now we smoking.
Mm, all right. So sometimes turning down fights is more about being ready than like, ducking.
Yeah. So no, turning out for me is not that I don't believe in him. Is that I know like in give me another 6 months and the way he's developing, then that style won't beat my style. You know.
Mm, okay. All
So
right.
everybody thought like you thought, but I knew that going into that fight, man, he wasn't beating Raw on that day.
What you went pro, Hector? I never asked you about your personal, but no,
Just
you was only
just amateur fights. No, just amateur.
yeah. What was your record? What weight
Remember,
class?
no, I got a clipping of a newspaper clipping that I came out of the paper with my first amateur fight. I was 56 pounds.
So you was a little one.
Yeah, I was. I started boxing really, really young, but I started training fighters since I was 15.
How did you go from fighting to training fighters, and when did you
And,
stop
no,
boxing?
actually, there's a trainer from Atlanta. His name is Mustafa, and
Yes.
I was going back and forth with him because he put up a fight. This is so funny. He put up a fight that he has people study, and it was an old fight. And I seen him on Instagram. I was like, oh shit! I was training the other guy, and this, yeah, and so the fight was Tyrone Trice, right? Was fighting Kevin Pompey.
Okay.
So
Who'd you have? You had Kevin?
yeah, I have Kevin.
Okay.
Well, so no, I wasn't training them, but I was under the guy that was training them, and I was the kind of like the mid guy,
Okay.
Mm.
right? So who was training them was my mentor, which is Tony Rodriguez. So so we all, it was a crew of us. We all used to box, and then our trainer just came up missing, and I was kind of like the smarter one that. So I just held mitts for people, and Tony, it was like the amateurs in the front, professionals in the back. Uh, um, you know, um, You know, Bob Miller.
Yeah,
You heard you heard Bob Miller.
yeah,
He passed away a couple of years ago, but he's actually the one that promoted like Tyson's first
yeah.
17 to
Troy,
19
Troy, New York.
in Troy, New York. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Um, so when I went under Tony Rodriguez's wing, I was hit and miss with Kevin Pompey, and he fought Tyrone Trice, and this was like I was like 14 years old, and it was just awesome when I like taught somebody something and they actually did it, and forget that they did it. Like if it ever worked, it was like mind blowing for me. It's like what? So it was like
When did you stop? When did you stop boxing and start training?
yeah, 15.
At 15, you said, "I said I'm done boxing. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
a trainer."
yeah.
And was the plan was to be a professional boxing trainer as you are now?
No, so I remember and I remember training amateurs and we went in little tournaments and then Tony Rodriguez had a lot of pros and there was opponents there. And I remember this guy was like there was this one guy that I think he kind of started it for me. I had two guys. It was like Ren and Stimpy. It was like this fat kid. He was about 5'7", and he was like 300 pounds. And I had him. He was my fighter. And then I had another guy who was a 147 fighter. He had like both his fingers was missing. These fingers was missing. So so if he was ever like in shape, he was probably like a 122 pounder. And we traveled like everywhere. We traveled everywhere in the worst conditions. I remember.
I'm
Yeah,
curious how you wrap his hands if he's missing that many
yeah,
fingers.
yeah. But it was like the nubs, so he still had like the knuckle.
Oh, so you can still okay.
Yeah,
It was like up to here.
no, further up.
Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
so, that's crazy. That's crazy.
So
Yeah, yeah.
that was like that was kind of like when I say fighters they need ring time, and that was like my introduction to like just learning the game at a very very low level,
Okay.
right?
I
And
want.
then they get cuts. I had to wrap hands. I had to do the cuts, and by the time I'm traveling, by the time I was like 17 years old, I was already like really knowing the game because I was already in it since I was 6 years old. But now training, I have a good solid, solid understanding of it. And it was just like it was awesome. Like I remember Bob Miller brought me. Well, they sent me both the fighters. We came up here actually to Canada where I'm at now, and there was and by me training, I ain't like to lose, but the Ren and Stimpy crew they started to get better, right? So we came up here, we upset two people, right? My guys like the bummer, they was completely bummed, right? And they knew it. But we was training and we finally got one, right? So they was mad at Bob Miller. They called them. They was like, "You told me they stink. They can't fight." And Bob was like, "They can't." It was like this guy beat my guy. Like they wanted that he couldn't understand it, right? So I'm like, I remember I was there while he got the call, and I was like in glee, right? I was happy, and that like stuff like that just kept me going, kept me going, kept me going.
Yeah. So at what point in your career do you go? All right, no, now I'm gonna do this full time. Now this is gonna be my career. Fuck a job. I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah, so I never in my life had a job. I
Okay.
always been a boxing trainer.
Oh, so it wasn't necessarily a decision. It's something that just kind of
Yeah, I
just
mean,
kept
I was
developing.
young. It was just like nonstop. I never, my whole life, I never went 2 weeks without actually training somebody. since I was
All right.
15 years old.
All right. I got a couple super chats. I got here Jonathan Ortiz for the $2 super chat. Salute to you, my brother. He says Polanco versus Tio at 147. How would he do, Hector?
I think Teo's very. If you ever see him live, I don't know how he looks. Who said that, Jonathan? I don't
Jonathan
know.
Ortiz.
I don't know how he looks to you um, on TV, but he's a really small man. He's a really small man. He's just too small.
So
Yeah,
you
and
think
if
Rohan?
Draggett was able to put pressure on him the way he did, and no, I think no,
No.
it won't
Okay.
be a problem.
Another $2 super chat from Jonathan Ortiz. Salute to you, brother. He says, Hector, how long to develop the trainer's eye?
Yeah, so just like how it is, just like how when you see a fighter and you say, "Man, he's talented." Why is he talented? Because you can't teach that type of speed.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone like Rashidi Ellis, like his speed is phenomenal, right? You can't teach that, right? So when just like how fighters have talent, I think also trainers have talent also, right?
Mm.
So this is why I say, like a lot of fighters, why even not just fighters, but just and Jose, you could jump in on this, like in the history of boxing or the history of coaching, like a lot of players or a lot of fighters never came and materialized to be good coaches, right?
Yeah,
Jose, could you talk about
I
that?
would say almost none of them. Occasionally, you get somebody like Georgie Benton, and that's probably the only one I could think of right now. I don't. I think the jury's still out on Roy Jones, on how good a trainer he is. Buddy McGirt did all right as a trainer for certain fighters. I can't think of anyone else though. That was Edwin Vita Wet became a pretty good trainer. I'm at the bottom of the barrel already though.
Well, the one guy I'll throw in there, and he only had success with one fighter, is Pernell Whitaker. When he trained Zab Judah, I don't know if you remember, Zab Judah won another, I guess, again, it's the 4-belt era. He won another belt at 140. He went undisputed at 147. He moved down to 140. He won a belt. And he looked a lot different. And he was a lot better defensively. He had a little bit of more movement. And he had some swagger to him. And I want to attribute that to adding Pernell Whitaker to the corner. After a while, obviously Zab Judah was older. He lost a couple times, and then they parted ways. I would have loved to see Pernell Whitaker's development as a trainer more, but he did a really good job with Zab, because like you can see the difference from before when he was just training with his dad to now training with his dad and Pernell Whitaker. Like it was a visible difference. I don't know if either of you guys remember that time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I recall. But he won't be mentioned. He won't be mentioned in the trainer category because he's
yeah,
not.
Yeah, it was one guy. It was one guy, but he
yeah.
did
It
a
was
good
one
job
guy.
with the one guy.
Yeah, he was more advising. Like he was like
More
advising.
motivated.
He didn't even know how to hold mitts.
Right. He
Um,
was
he was and Zach Judah always looked up to
right.
Purnell.
Right. Exactly.
Um,
Zab
No,
Judah
no,
used
but
to
what?
spend.
Well, whatever. He didn't know how to do mitts and didn't know how to do that. But the point is, the results were there. You saw him look better.
no, Joel. The point is, we talking about trainers,
Yeah.
not
He was.
Johnny come lately and let me
He,
advise you on these two fights, and now let me go about my business because you
he was
lost.
just
We
just
talking
like
about
inspiration.
trainers, like your man, homeboy. What's the guy? Your favorite trainer there that you always
Yo,
mention?
y'all trainers are all jealous of each other. Who you talking about? Bob
Fernando
Santos?
Whitaker.
No, no, no. Oh my
Uh,
God, I'm jealous of Bob Santos. It's heartbreaking.
we're not gonna do that. I don't know who you're talking about. Who you talking about? My favorite trainer.
The Dominican.
Oh, Joan Guzman.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
So, Joan Guzman still won't be considered a trainer.
Well, he has some professionals, but as far as like
He's not the head trainer though.
world level yet. No, he has some pro fighters. They're just not known. He has
Yeah,
some.
he had the Haitian guy. What was that Haitian guy's name that did all right?
Miguel Laras.
Yeah.
He's Trinidadian, but yeah.
Okay.
He didn't start him out though.
No, he didn't start him out. No.
Yeah, you can't. I think it's just Buddy McGregor. Georgie Benton definitely got it down. Right, he was doing it. It was not many.
How good was Freddy Roach?
I mean, as a trainer, he's great. As a fighter, he was.
As a fighter.
He's a tough guy. He could go 10 rounds with just about anybody, but he wasn't a threat to beat anybody.
Yeah. But even outside of boxing, like football.
Robert Garcia was champion.
Yeah, he was a beast.
Robert's good.
Robert was pretty awesome. He's like, I love Robert as a trainer too.
Yeah, Robert's good. Ain't too many though.
No, it's definitely not. Yeah, you're right. Not
even in football, right? Then Bill Belichick never even played football. Then,
I mean, you got how good a fighter? I mean, Kevin Rooney, he did great with Mike. He did all right with Vinny Paz. I don't know if he trained anyone else really.
Yeah.
Right. It's not many fighters at all.
Yeah. You can only count. You could maybe count on one hand the amount of good to great fighters that ended up becoming good to great trainers. That for sure. Yeah, I could see that. But that's the case. Yeah.
Even going way back, it's like Jack Blackburn's the only guy I could think of, the guy who trained Joe Louis. Right. And he was a top contender, but that's about it.
Yeah. Well, it's like in all sports. I remember Magic Johnson was a coach for the Lakers at one point, and people said, and I remember seeing an interview where he was telling people, yo, you just do this, you grab the ball, you bounce it, put it between your legs, you cut this way, and they're like, yo, like, my man, I'm not Magic. I can't do that. You're Magic Johnson. You're trying to coach me like I have your talent. I don't. And same thing with Barry Bonds.
Yeah, that's what happens in boxing when fighters implement their own styles onto other fighters.
Right.
When they become trainers. That's because the trainer's eye, right, is let me just put it like this. He's from the outside looking in. A fighter is from the inside looking out.
Yeah.
So a lot of times what I try to teach my fighters is that we need communication, right? First of all, I don't think that I train someone that lacks heart, right? That is afraid. If I say, listen, you have to put pressure on this guy, my guys would know how to put pressure and would attempt to do it. Now, if you don't, and if I'm telling you don't, then there's a problem. And I can't in my mind think that you're scared to do it. My mind have to go into like, why is he not gaining a position to do it? So now that's outside looking in. So now him on the inside looking out is, I can't do it because of this, and this, right? So so communication is there, right? So now when he's done with boxing and he's trying to become a trainer, that's a whole new, study. That now you got to start school all over again to create a trainer's eye. You can't just think you have a trainer's eye because you stopped boxing and now you want to be a coach and you got experience being a boxer, right? Because it's not just only knowing, but it's also know how to, like, whatever you speak, knowing that is going into the fighter and he's understanding.
Okay.
Right? So that knowledge is coming out, right? And the person is receiving it, and then they're gaining understanding.
So for the people listening, I'm gonna just translate basically what he said. Basically, he was saying that he was a very bad fighter. He was a very bad fighter, and he knows that he did a lot of things wrong. So he just doesn't. He wants people to learn from his mistakes. That's basically what you're saying. Am I right?
If Rohan was here, he would say that. He would say that if that's the case, then you must have been a really, really bad fighter.
Okay. Now, one thing Rohan is, he's always said he loves the way you train. And one thing he told me this in Miami. when he fought, and he told me, he goes, man, I got really really lucky that I ended up in this guy's hand. Those were his exact words. So he definitely respects your boxing knowledge, and yeah, man,
No,
and
listen.
I have.
Honestly, I get to a point, and the reason I study the way I study, and Brian Norman is hot right now, so I studied 3 fights of his today, and because I need to know, like when I'm, if I had to pull out my sword of knowledge and we got a battle and go back and forth, no, I'm well informed. I'm
Mhm.
studying. I'm not gonna jump out there and say stuff that I don't know, right?
Mm,
So even with fighters, I study the way I study because I can't have a fighter. Rohan's in his 20s. What the fuck he gonna do? What on earth is he gonna teach me?
I got you.
Or try to like combat, because all my fighters could talk back to me. They all can. You got the free will. You have to you have to have tough skin because I'm gonna come back at you pretty rough, right?
Hmm.
But if I say something, question it. I need you to question it because in question,
Mm.
I know that you're looking for more understanding, right? So I don't mind. I don't mind a fighter like, no, I don't understand that. Why do I have to do that? Oh, no problem. Because I'm not just
Mm.
going to throw something out there that I don't know,
Oh, okay.
right?
Back then, they used to say, let's see if Hector agrees with this. They said if you're gonna watch tape of a fighter, you got to watch 3 fights. Most recent, watch him at his best, and watch him at his worst.
Mm.
Yeah. No. That's always been a thing. When you say they used to say that back in the day.
Yeah, they used to say watch his most recent fight, watch him at when he was at his best, and watch him
Yeah.
when he was at his worst.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
definitely. My mentor
Only
used to speak on that.
huh?
My
Yeah.
mentor
I
Tony
mean,
Rodriguez used to speak on that.
I
Wow.
mean, if you could see 10 fights, watch 10. But if you go only see a
Yeah.
few, most recent at his best and at his worst,
Yeah.
and be ready for the one at his best always.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Exactly.
that's good advice. That's good advice. Uh I'm interested as to what trainers do you have conversations with, like where you having a cipher with, where y'all really talking boxing, like with a nitty gritty, where like a casual, I don't want to say casual, like a person who's not into the technical part as deep as you guys, that you guys sharpen your swords with each other, or is that not something you do?
Well, I get into other aspects of, because coaching is coaching to me, right? You have to relate the information, right?
Mm,
You have to know what you want, right? You have to know that where the fighter is, and so I study. I got books on other coaches, basketball coaches, football coaches, that I see their philosophy, their training tactics, and I could always even I learned a lot from a guy on YouTube teaching golf, right?
Interesting.
really?
So yeah,
Average.
so just his even the language, right? The his linguistics of how he's communicating with his students, right? So that's what I'm trying to that's why what I'm trying to learn, because I know what I'm seeing, but what I'm seeing, how fast can I get this fighter to understand
Yeah,
exactly
that's
what I'm
interesting.
doing?
Because Lou Duba used to say that. He used to say, you got a 30 seconds to get your point across.
Yeah,
Right? By the time the guy walks in, sits down, you wash him down, he ain't listening for 30 seconds of those 60. So Lou used to always say, you got 30 seconds to get it done.
yeah, and
Mm,
so I'm never like in the corner. Like, so we have a strategy, right, going into the fight. I don't have to talk a lot in the corner. I don't have to talk a lot unless you're straying away, right? If you it would be awesome, Joel, to see the Hunter fight and
Keith Hunter.
listen to me in the corner. Like, there's nothing. I'm hardly even talking. I'm
Hmm.
more so looking at peeking at the judge's scorecard when he's writing it down.
Mm.
And I'm not saying nothing because everything's smooth. I'm like, everything good. Your hand is okay. All right, keep doing what you're doing. But then Rohan caught a shot in the fifth round.
Yeah, he got stunned. He got wobbled a little bit.
Yeah. And he came back to the point. I said, hey, listen, get rid of him, man. Stop him, man. This is going too far. Go get him. And what happened in the sixth round? He stopped him. Because
Yeah,
I never get serious. I never get serious, but when I do, it's worth. It means something to them.
I got you. Hunter was really upset at the stoppage. He ain't think. Yeah, but you know what? No, the guy.
Hector, you ever read that book about the trainers called Cornerman?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, you did.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I don't know. I have a book, right? Angelo Dundee's book, and it came from a guy from Florida. And in the back, it has a note from Angelo Dundee, and they got Angelo Dundee's phone number.
Oh,
it is old. It's an old book. It's old.
Right.
And I should say this on here because the person I got it from, they've been wanting it back.
He not up this late. And if he not Dominican, he probably not subscribed. So don't worry about it. So somebody here is asking, Hector, are you familiar with Kenny Weldon?
Oh yeah, the old boxing coach. Yeah. What did I learn from him? Because I try to remember what I learned from everybody. So Kenny, what I learned from Kenny was to have your lead shoulder higher than your back shoulder, and I kind of like that concept.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, relax.
All right, and somebody's asking me, Joel, what you thought when Subriel? Man, you gotta work on your grammar, my man. I'm assuming he's saying what I thought when Subriel said that he got a surprise. What ran through my head? Immediately I thought he wasn't gonna come as aggressive as he usually does. That's what came to my head. My head was like, he's probably gonna be a little bit more strategic. Or the second thing was he is gonna come aggressive because that's just his style, but he's gonna come out southpaw. And that's the only thing I can think of because there's only so much you can add to your game. No disrespect to the trainer he has now, but nobody's ever heard of him. Like I don't even know his name. No disrespect. No, again, I don't want to throw this out as disrespect. And if we look at his last two fights when he left his last trainer, he seemed to have regressed. So I'm not sure what this guy is gonna now implement in Subriel's game plan to be different. The only thing I can think of is again him switching southpaw. And it's funny you made the assessment that he's stronger with his lead hand. Maybe they switch him southpaw, and now his lead hand is his backhand, and now he feels he can generate more power that way. Or again, he comes in a little bit less aggressive, more strategic with it. But I don't think at this stage of his career, as far as age and the amount of fights he got, I don't think he's going to be able to change too much. What do you guys think?
Now's not the time to try new stuff.
Yeah,
with what got you there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if either of you guys watched the interview, but what do you think he means when he says he has a surprise for Puello?
I think he's just throwing shit out there to put things in people's heads. I don't think. What can he do? He ain't growing a third arm all of a sudden. How different can he be? You know what I'm saying, right? So
yeah.
Throwing shit out there. It's like when Rosario was fighting Chavez, or when Brambo was fighting Mancini. Oh, I got the voodoo doll with the pinning needles and brujeria and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Although Edwin Rosario was really into that brujeria stuff, though, so that's crazy. I believe Edwin was believing it. I think it's just mind games, personally.
Oh, okay.
I think he's just gonna come. Even though that his last fight, Gabriel Venezuela, he's a tough guy. I've been following him. I actually was trying to get him for Rohan when Rohan had around 10 fights, and it would have been a tough fight for Rohan. and he's not that simple. Even though Matias got a win on him, and but he didn't look that good. But Venezuela is a tough guy. But I just think he's gonna come in better shape. He's just gonna dog it out because what is like what can he do? I really don't see nothing.
Yeah, we seen him already. Yeah, we know what
You,
he can
you,
do.
both of you guys picking Puello?
No,
Ah,
I'm not picking point. I don't know now because I actually I was talking to Rohan and we sat down to actually because we're gonna put money on it. We actually sat down to watch both of them,
Mm-hmm.
and before we sat down, I was definitely going with Matias, and then after we sat down, I was like, "Fuck."
yeah, they're really evenly matched. Boyle got away though of winning the close ones though, so I kind of lean towards him. I don't know that Subriel's gonna hurt him that much. I think Boyle's a little stronger than people think.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
I think Puello wins because I think he has the experience at championship level fights. He has the experience of coming in as the underdog.
Subriel's
Like
up there too, but
no, but Subriel, like when you really look at it, like who has he fought? Like he fought Paro, who's a tough guy, and that's definitely a fight. You gained experience, but you
yeah,
lost in that fight. Like you gained experience in the L. Um, and after that, his rest of his resume is
yeah,
not nobody who's like where you could point to and be like, wow, this guy's a really tough guy. Like Puello, say whatever you want. When he fought Akhmadov, he was a top 10 contender. When he fought Antoine Russell, that was a top 10 contender. And when he fought Sandor Martin, that was a top 10 contender. So he has experience of going 12 rounds, of being in tough, close, competitive fights and edging it out. And I think just the experience factor is something Hector pointed to as being an important factor in the boxer. I think that goes to Puello. Although they both have 24 fights, it's just and Puello's undefeated and Subriel has 2 losses. So I'm leaning for sure Puello, not just on some bias stuff, just thinking how the like Puello has more tools in his toolbox. The only thing he's missing is power, and we already addressed how that's the least important thing you need. But I do think it's a 50-50 fight. I do think it's a 50-50 fight. Yeah.
yeah. After watching it, I don't think it's 50-50. I would I hate to say it because I was really going with Matias, but generally, like the boxer has the advantage due
Mm.
to their skill set. They're able to control the pace. They're able to score, and I don't like how Puello's last fight went down, but
Me neither.
when 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 there's an asterisk and everyone's saying that he was really really hurt. So that's why I was like, before I knew that he was really hurt, I was like, no way in hell that he does that to Matias, and Matias is way stronger than that last guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, Matias is gonna kill him, but he was really hurt. And then I saw the way he handled um, Antoine Russell's aggression, and it was way different than how he fought. So then I
yeah.
believe that he was really hurt. You
Yeah.
know.
It's funny you answered Jonathan Ortiz $2 super chat. Thank you so much. He says the boxer or the come forward slugger, who wins? You kind of answered that. You said, you favor always the boxer because he has more
Yeah,
tools.
yeah, yeah. Because he evade punches, right? The boxer evades punches. He could control the pace. He could score effectively. Uh, his strategic approach is always to outmaneuver the slugger. And what does the slugger do? Just come forward trying to take your head off.
Yeah, I want to ask. There's a saying I heard, and I want to start off with Jose, but then I want you to answer Hector. And have you guys ever heard the saying, "Maulers beat boxers, boxers beat punchers, and punchers beat maulers"? You ever heard that saying? And do you believe that theory is true?
I've heard it sounds familiar. I think the box. See, the thing is, I think the boxer is just as strong as the slugger, so he could hold them off. But he could also add the counterpunching and the changing positions that the slugger usually can't. They
Hmm.
start like Hector was saying earlier with position. You just take a half step to the side, and the boxer could still do his thing. The slugger's got to readjust. Almost always, a good boxer usually always beats a good smaller. What was the other part you said? The puncher and the what?
Mauler, someone who's like a come forward mauler, maybe like
Like a Ray Mancini kind of guy. Like what's the difference between a mauler and a puncher?
well, a puncher, you know how Wilder would come in and he's kind of trying to measure you out to try to land something.
So look,
A
a guy
mauler
like
is more like
Wilder.
Zapata, William Zapata kind of guy, you know.
Well, listen, a puncher always got a chance. He could lose 10 rounds and take you out in the last round if right, but that's like the Hail Mary. Yeah, that's like that strategy waiting on that. The
Mhm.
mauler, I don't know, man. Some maulers can make it real ugly, and if they can stand in front of you, a mauler could really upset the boxer sometimes because
Yeah,
they
yeah.
fight.
Which is what the saying is: maulers
Yeah,
beat
they fight.
boxers, boxers beat punchers,
You
and
know,
punchers beat maulers.
there's a saying like a boxer he doesn't like to fight somebody that doesn't know how to fight, right? And then when the mauler
Mm.
comes out, they do things that no one's supposed to do in the ring, and that throws off a lot of people off the game because it's like unprofessional.
A perfect example of that is Marcus Maidana versus Floyd Mayweather. I think
But
Maidana.
Marco's got some skill though.
No,
He can
no, no.
aim.
But he throws punches at a very awkward angle, and when he caught him, it's funny that overhand right is almost similar to
Raleigh.
Rohan's hook. It kind of like landed on
Oh,
top of his head, and he got hurt, and the round ended. I don't know if you remember when Maidana caught him, he just punches weird angles. He had
yeah,
skills, but what I'm trying to say
you
is
don't see
the
them. You
angles
don't
of
see
his
those punches.
punches.
That's right. You see 'em,
Yeah,
feel them. You don't see them.
yeah. Hector, you ever heard that saying?
Well, I never heard the mauler part. I always boxers boxers beat sluggers, sluggers beat brawlers,
Mm.
and brawlers beat boxers.
Yeah, I guess yeah, same thing. Maybe it is that. I haven't heard the saying in a while, but so you've heard that. Do you believe that to be true?
Well, I mean, it is a cycle, right? So boxers are skilled and boxer, right? So let's talk about boxers. Boxers are they're skilled in technique, um, footwork, defensive maneuvers, right? And what do they focus on? They're scoring points, right?
Mm-hmm.
And fucking avoiding damage. So what do sluggers do? A slugger, right? Like Louisville Slugger. Well, they rely on raw power and they aim to land heavy shots, right?
Yeah.
So they rely on raw power, aim to land heavy shots, right? Um, they trying to get they trying to get a knockout. Okay, that's a slugger. Um, Boxers usually outmaneuver in the history of boxing. Boxers usually outmaneuver Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler. Boxers usually outmaneuver sluggers by staying mobile. I think that's what uh, your guy, the Dominican guy, going to do to Matias. Right?
Hope
Avoid
so.
shots, right, and score his points, right.
Mhm.
And he got some good combination too. Boyo got some good combinations, and he's very long and he understands his lane.
Yeah, and he goes to the body well. I think he's a lot tougher than people give him credit for. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Yeah.
Right. And then but now what's a brawler now, right? They're aggressive. A brawler is like I see them throwing a lot of punches,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they they kind of like they have little regard of defense, right? They just
Pitbull.
who's a brawler? We got what's the three weight guy that Armstrong,
Henry Armstrong.
Henry Armstrong, right? We consider him a brawler, right? Would you consider him a brawler?
What about
He
Joe Frazier?
Joe Frazier, right?
Mhm.
So in the scenario of
Tyson to some degree, no.
Tyson
Who?
was very scientific in his approach to
Yeah, Tyson was slipping punches.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I guess, yeah. I'm just
But
thinking
remember,
about it
like
like
the
his
brawler,
forward style.
he don't have little regard for defense, right?
I got you.
So now in a scenario again, a slugger,
I
like a
know a
slugger,
brawler. Ruslan Provodnikov.
Mm.
yeah,
The guy fought Brad. Yeah.
yeah.
He was an entertaining fighter.
They usually are.
Yeah. Would we consider Bradley a brawler?
He was in some brawls, but he knows how to box, though.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing fights with him on the back foot slipping and shit like that. I always
You
remember
have
him
to
hitting
see
forward.
when he fought Marquez.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good
he
one.
can box.
Yeah, I have here his $2 super chat from Freddie. He says, "I'm Dominican, but honestly, Feliciano would beat Adames."
Listen, that's a very sensitive subject to Joel. So could we not? We're having a good conversation. I haven't really finished my point that I had in mind, and I lost it because you mentioned that. Like that's a whole nother question for another time. We don't want to mention how Yoeli would smack Adamas around. We
Yo,
don't.
my thing is, well, why be ranked in the number one in the WBA and your man out here quiet? You got his trainer talking about Adames. Why is your man not chasing down the guy he number one ranked in? Tell him get a belt, and then I'll tell my man, yo, take care of that for me, and he'll take care of that.
Yeah, it's hard to get a belt when no one wants to fight you.
You rank number one. Petition the WBA.
Well, no. So rank number one is different from being the mandatory.
I know. We'll petition for a final eliminator or something.
So now his next fight will be for elimination fight for outside of the WBA. I think we're gonna go after Jenny Beck.
All right. Going the safer route. I respect that. You know, what is he ranked in any other sanctioning bodies or no? Or just
yeah, he's number 6 in WBO.
Okay, and he's fighting a final eliminator for that to be the mandatory.
Yeah, we're trying because they're saying if we fight somebody in the top 5, we could get the mandatory spot. So we're his people's working on. He got a really good, this guy his Yoeli's manager is really good.
Who's his manager? That's the big guy. I forget his name.
Yeah, Dominican.
Yeah, the big dude. Yeah.
Valle.
Yeah.
He's on top of it. He remind me of Suge Knight in the game. He's trying to get his guy fights.
Oh, that's what's up. And he's not signed to a promoter, right? He's not a.
Yeah, he got a promote. His promoter is Warriors Boxing, which is down with PBC.
Yeah. Okay. That's Luis de Cuba's thing, right?
Yeah.
All right. I have here Freddie, who sends another $2 super chat. Salute to you. He says, "What's Hector's favorite boxing style? A perfect fighter."
The perfect fighter. My favorite fighter was Finito Lopez.
How about you? How about you, Jose? You have a favorite style? Who's the perfect fighter?
I mean, perfect fighter, man.
That's tough.
I don't know. I would say someone like Winky Wright. like that kind of style.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if
Beat
that's
my
the
boy
perfect,
Trinidad, broke my heart.
Oh,
every round. I
that
Easy
think
was a
I
too.
bad
think
one. That was a
I
bad
think
one.
he beat Hopkins too.
Yeah, I
When
thought
they
he
Oh
beat.
yeah,
I thought he beat Fernando Vargas too.
yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, so he had some bad decisions go against him. But what's
I
your
like
favorite boxing style, Jose? Like, you have a favorite style? I know you said maybe Winky's a perfect fighter, but like,
yeah, I like guys like James Toney. That's the kind of fighters I used to like. Or Joan Guzman. We just didn't see enough of him. But that style is like that in the pocket, slip and slide and counter.
yeah,
I
yeah,
like the guy with good vision. And like Hector said earlier, it's like chess. Every move you make should have a purpose. It's going to be followed by another move. So
hmm
you just can't take stupid steps in that ring. So
yeah,
guys like James Toney, um, Mike McCallum, those guys, they no wasted moves. They knew exactly what they were going to do 2 or 3 punches down the road. So I like those kind of guys.
yeah. To
That
answer,
that that fight. That's a fight people should just watch to study.
Yeah,
James Toney and Mike McCallum.
yeah.
Sheesh.
you know,
That fight.
I never watched that fight. I never watched it.
The
I
first
got to
fight,
check it out.
the first fight was science,
Yeah.
skill, and a little bit of violence.
You want a guy to learn how to shoulder roll, like
Right.
Yeah,
watch that
my
fight. It's
I
good
to
fight,
answer
Freddie Roach.
to give my answer to that question, as far as perfect fighter, I probably would have to go Mayweather. Uh, Statistically on on CompuBox, he has the least percentage of punches landed on him with the highest percentage of punches landed on his opponents. I know CompuBox only goes to a certain point of history, but I mean that's pretty fucking impressive when you considering the fighters he fought. So as far as perfect fight, as far as boxing style, I mean, it's hard not to go with Iron Mike. I mean, that to me is like that's you coming forward, not taking punches, and then in his case, with fucking dynamite in both hands. Yeah, that was just exciting. I think he was the most exciting fighter of all time. Maybe there was another guy that I don't know about, but this guy was knocking motherfuckers out. You were buying a pay-per-view and going to sleep before before 10:30 because he's knocking him out in the first round, man. Yeah, I'm going Mayan Mike, man. I have here another $2 super chat from Freddie. Salute to you. He says, "Can Jaron Ennis become a number one pound for pound fighter in the future?" I don't think so. I think he get hit too clean. I think eventually it's gonna cost him, and he's just moving up in weight. He's gonna have these 10-ounce gloves. I don't know if the power is gonna move up. I'm gonna say no. I'm not saying he's not gonna have a successful boxing career, but you put to the level of number one pound for pound. I don't think he can do that. No, I don't. I think he gets hit too clean. How about you guys?
No, that's my sentiment too. He just had to work on. He got so I went to his gym one time, right? And I brought Yoanlis down there
Mm,
and we sparred with him. And his father, I spoke to his father a couple times, and so the mentality of his mentality is like, my son could box, but then he could just stay away and then nothing would happen. That's why a lot of time we just go and spar here. But if he had to box, he could box. And I remember talking to him about that, and I was like, I don't know if he could. I don't think he can. I know he has the ability to for a round or two, but if that's all he does is always brawling and getting people out of here and sparring,
hmm
and then when the fight time comes. So the difference between, remember what we were talking about Rohan, like he get a lot of slack from doing the Philly shell,
hmm
but he never does that in training. So then when you get in trouble, you're only going to revert back to what you know how to do.
Mm,
So when I see him doing the Philly show, he's not in trouble,
I got
right?
you.
You know what I'm saying? When someone starts to outposition him, he's like, oh, okay, he's gonna go into what he normally does and feel safe at.
I got you. I got
Right.
you.
So now on the opposite end, if you're not practicing how to box, you're only gonna do
Yeah.
what your body's allowing you to do in training.
Jose, how do you see Jerron Ennis? What do you think? He has number one pound for pound potential.
How old is he?
He's like 28, 29.
Nah, he ain't gonna get it. He'd have been
Now I think he's 27, huh?
Nah, I'll
27.
tell you, he's 28.
I mean, number one really depends on who else is around and what fights he gets, really, right? I mean, a couple of wins could get him up in the conversation. I feel like if you're 24 or 25 and it ain't pretty clear by then, like if you're still questioning it by 27, 28, it most likely ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. Nah, and yeah, and right now, yo, boxing is in a really good era in terms of talent. Like, so you mentioned, like I said, it depends who's around. Like 1 through 7, 1 through 8, right now, currently is just some killers. You got Bud and Inoue and Crawford. Usyk, Bivol, Nakatani, Bam Rodriguez. That's just 6 off the top of my head. I probably could mention 2, 3 more who are like super elite. It's specifically Bam Rodriguez, who's about 25, and is already in the top 5, and he's in my top 5, definitely top 10. He's already showing that he has that potential to be number one pound for pound, and he's younger than Boots. I can't see in 3 years Boots doing more than what Bam has already done, plus is yet to do. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't. And you got these other guys that are there, still there. So he has a long road ahead of him, as anybody does, to get to number one pound for pound. I don't think he has that kind of defense. I wouldn't say talent. He has the talent, but I don't think he has that kind of defense. I can't picture him leaving his father to going somewhere else to learn defense. I just, I just can't see it. But fellas, it's already. I was already past both of y'all bedtime. So unless y'all got something y'all want to get off your chest, I think it's about a good time. We shut this down. What do y'all think?
We always got stuff to get off our chest, but yeah, it's kind of late. Hector got a big day tomorrow. Good luck, and
Yeah.
there you go. Keep pushing that book. Entertain and read.
There we go.
How is the book doing?
Say it again.
How's the book doing?
I don't really know yet because I don't get. I gotta wait 60 days before I get. Every 60 days is when I get the reports. So I really have no idea. I had 3 or 4 people tell me it's a lot of fun though.
What would be considered a success for you?
I honestly listen. A success is if people find it worthwhile. If the majority of people find it worthwhile, nothing is ever going to be liked by everybody, right? So if you get the
Sure.
majority of people that hey, that was pretty cool. I guess that's a success. Everything else would just be, the cherry on top.
Okay. All right. Hector, you got anything you want to get off before we hop off?
You can't just jump off if you got super chats.
I it just came in. Damn. I got a $2 super chat from Freddy. He says top 3 fights y'all want to see in the next year. I want to see Adames Janet back for sure. I want to see, who else do I want to see? I want to see Rohan and Brian Norman, and I want to see Nakatani and Inoue. There you go. That's my top 3. No order. Those are my 3 that I want to see within the next year. How about
No
you guys?
order. You kidding me?
It got to be in order.
Yeah.
No order.
Rohan gotta go first.
So if you have Rohan and Norman versus Inui Nakatani, you're gonna be like,
Nah, I'm you know who I'm gonna go for the Rohan fight for sure.
Exactly. So there is an order.
All right, so I guess that one. But I'll be honest, the number one fight I would want to see out of those three I mentioned is the Adames Janibek. I want Adames to become lineal champion, 3-belt unified champion, Ring Magazine champion if he beats Janibek. So that's the number one fight. Number two, I'm gonna go Rohan versus Norman, and number three, Nakatani Inoue. There you go. I gave it an order. How about you guys?
I think he said 4 fights, right?
No, he said three. He said three.
You said 4 though, right?
Nah, it says top 3 fights.
No, but you mentioned 4 fights, I think, right?
No, I didn't.
You said Rohan, Adames, Nakatani, and who else?
No, I only mentioned 3. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I want to see Tank in a real fight. I want to see him against Shakur or someone like that.
Okay.
Or him and Tio, somebody, right? I want to see Rohan fight Ryan Garcia for some reason, right? I just the heights, the fast left hook, but I think Rohan could take it because I think the right hand will beat the left hook, and Rohan looks a little bit like Trinidad. I think that's potentially like a De La Hoya Trinidad 2 that we never got. And you know what? It's the voice of Dominican boxing, man. Let's just stay with Rohan against Brian Norman.
Okay, all right. There you go. There you go. That's interesting.
Hector, you like the Ryan Garcia fight?
I find that interesting because they both got good left hook, and they always say don't hook with a hooker, but these are both.
Yeah, but Rohan got the other hand though, and Brian don't.
That is true. I don't know. Listen, I'm picking Rohan to win that fight quite comfortably, but it's just I was just decided to bring that part up. But Hector, what's your thoughts on both of our lists as well as your list?
It's awesome. Yeah, no, it's awesome. I mean, my list would be similar. Just the only part would be Yoeli fighting either Adames or Janibek.
Okay.
Of course, I would like the ultimate goal would be Rohan against Haney. I would appreciate it. Yeah. And I have another fighter who's Armando Martinez, and he's number I think 5, and I would love to see him in there in the fight with either Shakur or Tank. Yeah,
I want to watch Armando Martinez. I never seen him fight.
Yeah,
his father was a gold medalist in the Olympics. His pedigree's heavy.
Was that 1980 when he won the gold?
Yeah.
1980 was supposedly Cuba's best Olympic team.
Really?
Let me not say that. Let me do some more research on that. But was that when what was the
Russia when they fought in Moscow?
Okay, I don't know.
The U.S. didn't go to that one. USA boycott.
I know that they fought
Yeah.
I know they fought. I know his father at the end was the gold medal was against a Canadian dude that it was a hell of a fight.
Dan, they won 1980. They won 6 gold medals.
Is he in there? Is he on that list?
I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to see right now.
Because that was the one with Angel Adama, right? Angel Adama.
Armando Martinez. Yes, he was on it.
That's the father.
Yeah. Right, that's the father, right? Teofilo Stevenson, Armando Martinez, Jose Gomez Mustelier.
Yeah, the light heavyweight.
Andres Aldamada.
Andres Aldama beat Mike McCallum and John Mugabe in the amateurs.
Damn, but he lost to. Didn't he lose to Sugar Ray Leonard?
He lost to Sugar Ray in '76.
Yeah. And then Angel Herrera, lightweight.
Another monster, yeah.
Yeah, and Juan Hernandez.
And then
they got a couple silver medalists too. Damn, that team was and a couple bronze medalists.
Yeah. I think it might have been every fighter came home with a medal that year for Cuba.
The only thing I will say is if America is also not
right, of course,
you know what I'm saying. The same thing with the 84, with the
84, exactly. Yeah,
Cuba Cuba and Russia wasn't in that Olympics, and that's the best U.S. team. Is like, yeah, I mean, if Cuba and Russia not competing, like that's two of your biggest foes. Yeah. Nah, but all right, fellas, let me let you guys go to sleep. I know y'all gonna be cursing me out in the morning, telling me
only one person is talking about sleep, and it ain't the older guys.
Hey, no, listen, let's stay on. Fuck it. I
want to see if I can do tomorrow. I want to see if I can screen share.
Oh,
all right.
He's still trying to figure this out.
Now, if you figure that out, I'm changing my background. Okay.
Oh man, I'm about to screen share a video on how to screen share right now.
I think it's the button that says present.
Hold on. We got something. Show me.
Wait. All right. I see it.
I finally did it.
You finally did it. The pressure's on now.
So now, so who we have here?
Edwin de los Santos, 135 pounds Dominican contender.
So what I could teach you guys, one is how to study someone even when they just shadow boxing.
Go ahead. Right? I'm gonna see if I can pick up something that you're about to say.
So, okay, I see that he's throwing punches here, right? We got a 12-second video here, right? Okay, so right here he brings his feet together.
Yeah, I didn't like the feet.
So he has a capability of what we call rhythm stepping, right? So he has that capability in him. So he is what you would consider a rhythm stepper, right? So he punches here, and I see this. Boom. Okay. So I'm gonna see that. I'm gonna keep that in mind, right? So now when he comes forward, he's punching. Right? So here we start over. He's stationary there. He's punching. He's rhythm stepping, and then we're gonna go forward and we're gonna punch. Right? So from there, let's see what happens. He rhythm steps again. Right? Okay. He changes his height. Good. He's able to change levels. He has that ability to do. Right? When he steps forward again, he's punching. Then he brings his feet again close together. Okay. So now, how do I do this?
Well, you want me to remove the screen share? Oh no.
No, I want to go into one of his fights.
Oh, like go on YouTube or something?
Yes. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll get strike, for that. I don't know if we could just show
a fight.
Yeah, I don't know if we could do that. Well, this is shadow boxing. This is just a public workout. That's nothing. But if you're gonna show like a fight, yeah, now we might have to. We might have to do something on a Patreon. I need to open up a Patreon, man. I don't got one.
So let's see. So you can't show this here?
I can't. Well, I can't show like a fight that was on Showtime or ESPN on the screen, or else I might get a strike on my channel.
Can you see it though?
I ain't see if you saw something. Let me see.
No. Can you see what my screen says without you sharing it?
Let me see. Nah, I can't. Nah.
Okay.
Let me see. I never tried that, so let me see if I could figure that out. Oh no. Nah, I can't do it. I can't do it. But what we could do is we could do it one day not live, right? And then I could put it on like a private website where people will have to pay to see it and stuff like that. We could do something like that, but we can't
So
do it on YouTube.
so if someone could see if they could go and watch De Los Santos and let's say Shakur,
Hmm.
right? They will see how even though that was shadow boxing, that gives me a lot of information. And you could see how it was implementing, how he was breaking his own base and in the fight. In the first, you could probably see it in the first 15 seconds of the fight. You will see everything that I just. So then you see that he can't. De Los Santos has trouble coming forward with his defense. Every time De Los Santos come forward, is punching,
Mm.
and that's why he was getting an out position in this fight because he couldn't walk Shakur down with just defense. And Shakur would just always read when his offense was coming.
Mm.
Um, and also when Shakur would fade him or jab to the body, he would break his base, and then he would have to start all over again. It was it's frustrating to watch because all he had to do is fix that element, and then he were able to implement his power and his speed against Shakur. But he's not able to do that, even though he wanted to win and he got the balls to do it to want to win, but he just don't have the know how because he was what he was doing in shadow boxing. He was breaking his base, and then I had to start over. And he would just every time he go forward, he would punch going forward.
So how often do you when your opponent is shadow boxing or at a press conference or something, how often are you reviewing tape like this or going to and watching the person shadow box? How often is that part of your game plan?
Um, well, I'll I mean, at that point I already done saw his videos and all that. I don't have to like
Got
see
you.
it there.
Hmm.
Do you, Hector? You think he could benefit from watching a little bit of Winky Wright or something?
Everybody could.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody definitely could.
Or you know who was Ike Forte? Kind of had that. Donald Curry kind of had that too.
Yeah. Oh, Donna Curry was a monster at it. Yeah. Wiki,
Mm.
right? Yeah. You have to be able to go backwards, go forward with offense and defense,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
You have to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. I need you to do one of these film breakdowns on Joan Guzman, or have you studied him? Could you give us any insight as to what he was good at, what he wasn't good at, what you know?
I'll give you one.
Okay, go ahead, Jose.
I mean, never mind the weight. The weight struggle was a problem late in his career, but I felt he slowed down after the fourth round and just
Mm.
was a little bit different fighter than if he could have kept that pace up throughout. There's no telling how far he could have gone.
Okay.
At
All right.
126, he was fine. Once he went over 126, I felt he slowed down a little bit after the fourth or fifth round.
Really, I never know. He only lost one fight, so
That was at the end. Yeah,
yeah, that was at the end, and it was because of an injury. It was a really close
yeah. The
fight. They went
Funica
to the
fight. I mean, the first fight against Funica was
yeah. That was
a
a
little,
yeah.
especially
But
what Hector
Hector,
said.
what do you remember from seeing
Well,
Joan? What he did well, what he could have worked on, or like I
so
can
I mean, we know he's very talented, right?
100%.
Speed, fucking technical skills, right? Uh his struggle was conditioning because of he lacked the ability to block punches. He
Okay.
everything was we slip behind you, we slip, get out of here, make you look stupid, right?
Right.
But that slip movement, boom, that's just a little bit more of your energy being knocked down, right?
Mm.
So that's why he faded a lot late. That compromises his, his performance, and against someone that was like constantly putting pressure on. So I could see like real good someone like says like Chavez
Okay.
really that type of style and really get
Yeah.
to him. But we learned that I learned that from him, and that's why we teach the high guard and we teach the block along with everything else, because you can in professional boxing, in amateur boxing you can do it. That's why a lot of Dominicans fight with their hands down and they flashy slipping. There's only 3 rounds. Same thing with the Cubans. This is why a lot of Cubans have problem with conditioning late, because they never adapt to the professional ranks of learning how to block with your forearms and your hands.
Mm-hmm.
Simple jab come in and you doing this and this versus just doing this.
Yeah, just
You
catching
know,
it right.
Yeah, parry, little quick parry,
Yeah.
high guard,
here we
boom,
go,
catch it on the head.
relax.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Like you said, what I'm saying is right. So at least I gotta give a little example of what I'm talking about, man.
Do
Come
that
on,
parry again. Do that parry again.
man. Sometimes with the glove, you just whoop right there. You do through a jab, and now he that way. You know what I'm saying? You also know sometimes you could shorten the jab by just keeping your hand here, and when he throw his jab in, you could reach him and he can't reach you. Now, come on, man. I know stuff. Heck, I'm gonna go over there and teach you a little bit.
ABC 1, 2, 3.
Hey, I know the basics at least. I know.
But
I
yeah,
know.
that was I think that was one of his weaknesses, that he didn't learn how to
Just
just catch on his forearms and gloves.
okay. Okay. What was his strengths? With positioning.
Oh no, his strength was everything else.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, everything else is his just as movement, right? His, like I said, the technical skills.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, nah, he was very talented,
Yeah,
but I just think he missed out on the fundamentals a lot. He was
I
just
got you. He
it was
relied
like
a lot on the talent. You
it was
saying?
like a Roy Jones. Right? Roy Jones so talented, right?
Mm,
But once you could do everything wrong and get away with it
Yeah.
when you're young.
mm-hmm.
But one
Right.
slip of your reflexes, right? One slip of your boxing IQ, just then I don't think no one in history. Correct me here, Jose. If I don't think any like from all the because I think Roy Jones, of course, he's the all-time great. Um, I don't think there's been an all-time great that fell like how he fell. Like I don't think no one been knocked out the way he's been knocked out in his career. Like all the all-time greats don't get like without my memories. No one got knocked out like that or beaten like that.
Like a
I mean,
race like that. Yeah.
might have been there might have been one or two, but I can't think of it at the moment. Um, I mean, after he beat John Ruiz, right? He looked like he was at that moment the Michael Jordan of the game, right? He could do no wrong, and then he struggled with Tarver, and then after that, he just couldn't fight anymore, which was kind of crazy. Right? He became so ordinary after that. So I don't know if it's ever happened again. Maybe not.
Yeah,
Maybe not.
I
And you can't.
looked into it one time. I just like all the greats was they never like
Right.
they never went down when
Nah.
like the
No,
way.
And
and just consistently getting knocked out cold. He's been
yeah, yes.
knocked out cold like I want to say
I
a
mean,
handful of times.
in MMA, excuse me, in MMA, you kind of saw it with Chuck Liddell, where he
Yeah, I
was one of
remember
the
that.
top guys, and
Hmm.
then he just kept getting knocked out. Now I don't know that Chuck was ever as good as Roy was though at their best,
Hmm.
right? So Roy was and I'm not gonna say he got exposed because you went in for too long, so it's not exposed. It's just his body just gave up all of a sudden.
Yo, I remember one time he fought I think it was Denis Lebedev in Russia.
There's an ugly fight. Yeah.
Bro, he gets knocked out cold and is like out cold on the ropes. Lebedev looks at the referee. The referee just kind of looks at him like, "What are you doing?" And he just lands another vicious shot on top of him already being knocked out, and then the referee jumps in and stops the fight. I'm surprised that this guy can still talk and still walk and is not slurring his speech, no dementia, nothing. Because although throughout his early career he didn't take a lot of punishment, towards the back end, boy, did that man take some punishment. It was bad.
I don't think any all-time great ever did that. Ever took that beat like that.
No,
Even
I
Ali getting beat up was never knocked out like that.
no. I mean, you got Joe Louis who got knocked out by Rocky Marciano, but that's Rocky Marciano. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's just one time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Roy totally went down.
Yeah. The Nobody 92 with a $5 of the super chat. Salute to you, bro. He says, what did you disagree with Coach Mustafa about? I don't think you finished making your point.
Is this nobody your boy, the research guy?
Yeah, this is my personal researcher. Yes.
Okay, so now we woke him up, right? Because he hasn't. This is the first time he say anything.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. I didn't disagree. So when he posted it, and he was posting like film studies on it, and I was like, oh shit, I was a part of that fight. So I hit him up and we went back and forth, and he was like, yeah, I used this fight. Both fighters was technically sound. I'm like, man, yo, you and the video looked old, but I was like, I'm old. But
I got the Nobody 92 with another $5 super chat. He says, Hector, you said you were working with Eddie Cedeno at one point. Why didn't you become his main trainer?
Listen, I think I don't know. I can only assume what happened. I just know that he was in a contract with Kenny Porter, and it was a bullshit contract. Kenny Porter wasn't trying to hold him back or nothing. Kenny Porter only got him the contract so he could get his visa, so he could come and watch his brother fight. Okay, so now I had everyone fighting for this kid. I had all the managers and the promoters. Everybody wanted this kid. I never in my lifetime I negotiated a lot of contracts for fighters, and this is the most lucrative contract that I got to negotiate. So he was like, his numbers was ridiculous because he was hot coming out of the Olympics. And I'm talking about, I've never seen these numbers for somebody.
That's interesting.
And he was training, and then, but no one we just had to fix the Kenny Porter thing, which wasn't a problem because it wasn't a real contract. But people was like, yo, we're just waiting. We're waiting. I'm talking about give him a huge bonus the first year, huge bonus the second year. I think I didn't even want him to have so much money because it might ruin someone coming from nothing.
Dang.
Right? So I'm like, but I'm doing my best because now especially when you got like three people fighting for you, you got like, well, this guy's giving me this. What are you gonna do? And then he's topped this one, and the other tops him. So, make a long story short, I go, did Jose fall? So he left with his brother, and I don't want to say nothing. Marshall Kaufman is a good guy, but Marshall Kaufman got him with Top Rank. I already had him with Top Rank.
Well, he just signed with Top Rank now. He actually was with King's Promotion.
Listen, that was a done deal. All we had, he wasn't patient enough. I never told him all this. I never told him all this because then he just left, and he
Mm.
said he had to, and the money that people was paying him for him to travel and travel back and forth. It was just like it was kind of an embarrassment to me, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna just let him do him. And then he
Mm.
goes, and then he start listening to his brother, and his brother thinks he's a fucking he negotiates things which he don't have a fucking clue. But so he went with Marshall Kaufman because he was with him. I don't know what happened there, but no, my man, I had him already with Top Rank
Damn. So he would have started his career with Top Rank had he
a
followed
long
your
time ago. All we had to do is get the situation with Kenny Porter, and then he was like, "Well, it was taking too long." Like, look what you did after that. It was
lead. Yeah.
ridiculous. So,
I got you. Damn. All right. Well, all right. This is a Nobody 92 with another $5 super chat. He says, how important is having an amateur background in boxing?
well, it depends on the individual. I think I have Carlos Gonzalez who have no amateur no amateur background at all, and he only been fighting in the game for 2.5 years, and he's ranked number 12. And it's just knowing the professional game and knowing how to climb the ranks and so and then I also had Carlos Gongora was a 2-time Olympian, and it was hard as fuck to try to get him out of that Olympic style boxing.
Mm.
So it depends on the athlete. If you got an athlete, then no, you just have to have good schooling behind you.
All right. I have another $2 super chat from Freddie. He says, can Hector make Edwin a better fighter, more complete?
But I could make him. He could walk into my gym, and I could make him about 5% better just by one session, and I could make him about 15% better after that within the first month.
Wow. So 20% in total
In 1 month.
in 1 month. Wow. That's
I
that's
actually, so when he lost to Foster, I was like, I was kind of mixed feelings with that, and I was like, there was like there was there was 3 fights on that day, so a total of 6 fighters,
mm-hmm.
and he lost, and I was like, out of all the 6 fighters, he is the best one out of everyone, and Nunez was part of those 6 fighters.
Yeah.
I was like,
Nunez was main event. Yeah.
I'm telling you, he is the best fighter. If man, I could take that kid easily to the top. Um, and I still believe that now.
Mm. Okay. All right. I have here the Nobody 92 with another $5 super chat. He says, what's your thoughts on Breadman's comments on Yoenli? Sorry. I ain't hear his comments, so I don't know if you heard him.
His comments was he must have heard me on another podcast talking about it because his comments was like, "Oh, we got to test." I'm not saying he's on steroids, but why do I have to be the first one to want testing? And why is his neck? His neck is abnormal for his body, and and we're gonna and it's gonna be a tough. It's gonna be a brawl, and we should stop him by the 8th round. Those are his comments.
Damn.
And
So
then
what?
I went on record saying that I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that he insinuate, and I don't come from that school of thought where like you insinuate shit and you have people now the whole podcast, the boxing voice, everyone's talking about his neck, everybody's talking about and so now is first of all, you're wrong about the neck in the whole steroids thing, and then he's gonna say like, "Oh, I didn't say that he was." Yeah, but you insinuating shit, so people gonna run with that. And
Yeah.
he was wrong on it. Was never gonna be a tough fight. I wouldn't pick you. I wouldn't pick a tough fight for Yoanli at this. No, it was a wash from the very beginning. I knew it was gonna be a wash, and all respect to Kyron Davis, but he wasn't on Yoenli's level.
Yeah, nah, he definitely wasn't, and he showed it, dominated, hurt him multiple times.
Yo, listen. I don't give a fuck. You're gonna have to, if you're not one of my guys out with one punch, you knock him out with one punch. But you're not gonna give me a whole training camp, right? I got 8 to 12 weeks of studying the fighter, and and we can't win a round.
Mm.
No, no. What kind of trainer am I? Like, we can't win a round out of somebody, and I got 8 to 12 weeks of training for this guy.
Nah, that's wild. I see your point. I see your point. Somebody wrote to nobody. Your rich ass better go to the fight the 26. He says he's going. He says he's going, man. Uh, he says, Joel, why is Edwin in DR? Man, no comment. Thank you for the super chat, but no comment on that. Yeah, we're gonna move on from that. We're gonna move on from that. But it's now 1 in the morning. I think the old guys won, man. I'm gonna tap out on this, man. I'm gonna tap out on this. Even though we're 5 minutes away from a 3-hour live, like it's crazy. The vibes just be flowing. It's just see, seems like we got something. We got something here. Y'all making me rich. Y'all making me rich out here is definitely appreciated. Anything you guys wanna say to the fans, but before we dip out?
Just keep tuning in.
What was that? I know. I heard Jose say you keep tuning in. What'd you say, Hector?
No, it was a question. I was like, no, I don't have nothing to say to them. You got me upset bringing up that Breadman stuff and Yoenli. It rekindled. Rekindled that because the kid worked so hard. He don't deserve to have that smut put on his name.
Yeah, that was wild. That was wild.
Yeah, I've seen him say comments like that before, and it's always after his guy loses. So don't take it personal. That's just him trying to save some face, I think.
Yeah, I think
he actually said it before the fight, and now he got to eat his words because you put a prediction out there that you're gonna knock my guy out in the 8th round, and then I saw him at the weigh-ins, and he came up to me and said, "Hey, what's up, coach? How you doing?" I was like, "My man, this is my man right here, man." He's like, "Oh, we can't talk because our guy's gonna fight." I'm like, "Nah, this is my man. You can't just say shit like how you been saying and then say what's up to me."
Gotcha.
What did he say when you address him like that?
Nah, he was like, he was on the move. So.
Oh, okay. It's funny. I remember when Adames stopped Julian Williams, he flipped out. Yeah, he flipped out in the ring. He was talking shit to Bob Santos. Bob Santos was talking shit back to him. Like it got to a point where we ain't know what was gonna happen, and we was like, I was with the press, but I was looking. I was like, I don't know what is gonna happen. Is he gonna pop off? Is Bob gonna swing on him? I don't know, but he was coming out very aggressive, screaming. I couldn't hear from where I was sitting what he was yelling, but he seems. I haven't quite figured him out yet. I haven't spoke to him. I never interviewed him, but definitely. I wasn't aware of those comments, so maybe he's a little bit like trigger happy, for lack of a better term. Yeah. But all right, fellas. Thank you so much for joining me. Everybody go buy the Full Belt Era on Amazon. Make sure you leave a review after buying it, man.
Oh, did you send it to the Nobody 92?
Yes, Nobody 92. Your book is on the way, signed by Jose Corpus and Joseph Medina. So it's on your way. And Hector, don't worry. Once you in New York, I'll make sure you and Jose link up, and he'll be able to sign your book as well.
Oh, hold up. We didn't talk about Southside yet, man. We can't cut it off. We gotta talk some music.
Yeah. We gotta talk about some Hector Lavoe for my man Hector.
They just named the street after him in the Bronx.
I peep. You posted it on.
Speaking of naming streets, me and Majeski would sometimes we get together. We try to get like names, street names after fighters and stuff like that. And we were speaking with the mayor's office, and they're talking about just to show you how politics could be. I'm in a campaign year now. I need a $25,000 donation before I even think about anything. Just to let you guys
Wow.
know how politics can be sometimes. Yeah.
I was just about to ask, like, how do we make Dykeman Broadway Joel Boulevard or something? But apparently I need 25,000 even just for the convo.
I think Dykeman owned that whole area up there. That's how he got stuck with that name.
Yeah. Nah, but all right, fellas.
All right.
2 hours and 59 minutes. So
Till
we
the next
stopping
time.
just short of 3 hours. But fellas, thank you so much for your time. Good luck tomorrow, Hector.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate you,
Take care,
man.
man. Good luck.
Anytime, fellas. Good
Yeah.
night.